Chapter 585. A blood-curdling scream came out of Lin Ray's mouth. Along with it, drops of purple blood flowed down from Lin Ray's eyes and fell into the vortex. This is the punishment I'm giving you. Remember, be smart in the future. Otherwise, I will make you disappear from this world completely. You have to believe that I have the strength to do so. Hao Qian's cold voice sounded in Lin Li's mind. The moment he finished speaking, the terrifying pressure disappeared. At the same time, the black thunderbolt in Lin Li's mind disappeared along with Hao Qian's voice. Lin Ray, who was eating, did not pay attention to Hao Tian's words. At this moment, he only felt a stinging pain in his eyes. It was as if he had been struck by lightning. The pain was unbearable. Little tiger, hurry. Hurry up and get out. The formation is about to disappear. Hurry up. At this moment, Lin Ray, who was in pain, felt that the formation was slowly shrinking. Suddenly, Lin Ray could not care about the pain in his eyes. He immediately clamped his legs on the red flame tiger. Suddenly, the red flame tiger felt Lin Ray's anxiety. At this moment, its speed increased by another level. Whoosh! Suddenly, the red flame tiger turned into a flame and rushed out. At this moment, the vortex was shrinking bit by bit. However, the time was still the same. The vortex was shrinking at twice the speed. Slowly, it looked as if the formation was about to disappear. The red flame tiger roared, and its speed increased by another level. Just as the formation was about to disappear, the red flame tiger turned into a stream of light and rushed out of the formation. Phew! Fortunately, I rushed out. Otherwise, I would have really stayed in there. Feeling that he was already out of the formation, Lin Ray's nervousness completely disappeared. However, at this moment, the nervousness disappeared, accompanied by a stinging pain in his eyes. The pain made Lin Ray suck in a breath of cold air. His face turned pale at this moment. My eyes. Qin Dan thought about how everything had been fine before. He mustered all his strength and tried to recall the pitch-black gaze in front of him. However, no matter how hard he tried, he could not do anything. Perhaps it was because he was too anxious that he used too much force. But at this moment, drops of purple blood appeared again, flowing from Lin Ray's eyes to his cheeks. Young master, where to now? At this moment, the scarlet flame tiger, who had already exited the formation, looked ahead in a daze. His mind was blank. Then, he turned to Lin Ray and asked, Air, let's go to land first. Then, I'll find a place to rest and think about what to do next. I'll also let CF Feng see if my eyes can be cured. Yes, young master. Hearing Lin Ray's order, the scarlet flame tiger instantly turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the ground. At this moment, CF Feng and CF Feng, who were one step ahead of Lin Ray, had already arrived at Lake City. Looking at the dilapidated surroundings, CF Feng did not show any sympathy. Instead, she sneered. Wow, how did this place become like this? It looks so dilapidated. Hearing Feng Su's words, CF Feng's sneer became even more presumptuous. However, what she did not know was that Lin Ray's eyes had already been blinded by Hao Qian. Whoosh, bam, bam, bam. At this moment, the ground trembled. Suddenly, a stream of fiery red light rushed out from a place. It could be said that it had really soared into the sky. Young master, we're out. Yes, good. Hearing the flaming tiger's words, Lin Li nodded. Enduring the pain, he patted the flaming tiger on the shoulder, having it come to the place where it had lived before and settled down. After all, its current level of power was simply too low. At this moment, CF Feng, who had already come out, chuckled the moment she saw Lin Ray. Then, she spread her wings and instantly came to Lin Ray's side. Kid, hello. CF Feng, who came to Lin Ray's side, was about to say something when she saw that Lin Ray's eyes were tightly shut. There were tear stains on both sides of his cheeks. What made CF Feng even more curious was that these tear stains were purple. What happened to you? Seeing this, CF Feng felt that something was wrong. Then, she asked the question in her heart. It's nothing. Someone just blinded my eyes. However, it's still too early to make a conclusion. We'll know when it's confirmed. What? When Xiefeng heard this news, she was undoubtedly shocked. Just a moment ago, the two of them were still together. However, in just a short while, it had become like this. At this moment, Xiefeng, who didn't understand Lin Rei's reaction, opened her mouth and a scarlet energy instantly entered Lin Rei's body. In contrast, Lin Rei wanted to stop it. However, just as he had the thought of stopping it, he heard Xiefeng's cold voice. If you don't want to stop me, I'm going to check on you again. Don't move. Although Lin Rei didn't have 100% trust in Xiefeng, after all, the other party's strength was there. Thinking of this, Lin Rei could only give up resisting and obediently let the scarlet energy do whatever it wanted in his body. Why is there Hao Tian's aura? At this moment, just as the scarlet energy was about to enter Lin Rei's Dan Palace, a familiar aura to Xiefeng appeared. Could it be? Thinking of this, Xiefeng couldn't help but wake up. She asked Lin Rei, "What happened to your eyes? Weren't they fine before?" "It's Hao Tian." As expected. Hearing Lin Rei's decisive answer, Xiefeng finally understood what was going on. She immediately closed her eyes and felt better about the energy that entered Lin Rei's body. She slowly prepared to enter the Dan Palace to explore. However, at this moment, an energy suddenly stopped her. This energy was very mysterious. Even Xiefeng's scarlet energy was helpless. As for Xiefeng, she was even more shocked because she could feel the vastness of the mysterious energy. If that energy was a bottle that could hold water, then her energy was a drop of water in the bottle. There was nothing that could cause a ripple. How is this possible? This feeling better about the vast energy, although Xiefeng was shocked, she knew that this was still good. Fortunately, she didn't force it. Otherwise, she would be dead now. How did you? Feeling Xiefeng's strange state, Lin Rei couldn't help but ask curiously. Just now, he felt that the spiritual energy wanted to enter his Dan Palace. Although it was very dangerous and his life could be turned back to death by Xiefeng at any time, he still let her do it. But now things seemed to have changed. Just a moment ago, he had seen fear and shock in the eyes of the Sage Realm Evil Phoenix. He had seen something that frightened her. Although it was only for a moment, Lin Rei believed that although he couldn't see with his eyes, he could still use his consciousness. It's nothing. It's just that I can't cure your illness. However, I believe that the person behind you will have a way. The person behind me? Who? Xiefeng's strange words made Lin Rei a little confused. He didn't know what Xiefeng meant. All right. I'll leave this matter to you. I'll take Feng Su down to accept the inheritance. As for you, if you want anything, you can find me at the Sacred Mountain. I'll be waiting for you here. After saying that, Xiefeng came to Feng Su's side. She waved her hand, and a powerful energy appeared. It directly wrapped around Feng Su and walked to the empty space at the side. Damn, what's the meaning of this? Lin Rei's consciousness was probing Xiefeng's every move. He wanted to go forward and ask, but after seeing that they had already set up a barrier and went in to cultivate, Lin Rei gave up. Forget it. It's more important to go back and check on my injuries. After saying that, Lin Rei's legs clamped the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Then, he ordered the Scarlet Flame Tiger to quickly rush forward. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Tiger could be said to be half a city with each step. With Lin Rei's guidance, the Scarlet Flame Tiger finally brought Lin Rei to the Lion. Upon arriving, Linley used his divine sense to scan the area. He saw that the inn was still in perfect condition. In addition, Linley could sense that there was a familiar energy maintaining this place, preventing it from being corroded. 15. Needless to say, this was a 15th of the Azura race's strength. Previously, he had been fighting against the demonic phoenix and maintaining the city. In the end, because of the intensity of his strength, he had been absorbed into Linley's system. After such a long time, he should have recovered by now. Then, with a thought, 15 instantly appeared in front of the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Whoa! Seeing 15's sudden appearance, the Scarlet Flame Tiger was startled. Then, it let out a vigilant roar. However, when it saw that it was 15, the Scarlet Flame Tiger withdrew its vigilance. After all, They had seen each other before. Subordinate 15 greets young 15, who was about to greet Lin Rei, suddenly raised his head. When he saw the purple blood on both sides of Lin Rei's cheeks, 15's gaze was fixed on his face. Young master, your eyes. Hearing 15's words, Chen Dan was helpless. Why was it that the first thing everyone said when they saw him was his eyes? However, Lin Rei knew that 15 was worried about him. Therefore, Lin Rei hurriedly gave him a reassuring smile. Let's talk about this later. Now, quickly finding a quiet room. I want to go into seclusion. Hearing this, 15 hurriedly nodded in agreement. Okay, young master, please follow me. With that, 15 walked forward. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Tiger heard 15's words and immediately followed. Along the way, 15 chose to remain silent. Just like that, 15 led the Scarlet Flame Tiger that was carrying Lin Rei to a room and then stopped. Young master, this is the place. It's very quiet here, and there's a very powerful barrier. Okay, all right, all of you can go and tidy up. I will leave at any time. With that said, without waiting for their reply, he instantly entered the room and sat on the bed. TSK. This barrier is really bad. Seems like I have to teach them about formations in the future. Otherwise, it will be so embarrassing to go out like this. Then, Lin Rei instantly cast a spell. He waved his hand above his head, and a strong ray of light instantly rushed out of the room. The ray of light came to the roof and froze on the spot. Then, the ray of light began to spread in all directions until the entire room was enveloped in light. Sensing this, Linley finally relaxed. A smile on his face, Linley willed himself to enter the system. Not for any other reason, but to ask the system if there was any possibility of curing his eyes. Of course, he didn't have much hope. After all, he had checked his eyes before, so he didn't have much hope. System, come out. I have something to ask you. Half an hour passed. Lin Rei had been shouting for half an hour, but the system didn't respond at all. System, come out. I know you're here. Hurry up and come out. I have something to ask you. Lin Rei really didn't know what to do with the system. Although he was the owner of the system, he really didn't know what to do with the system and the little dragon. I know what you want to ask, but I can tell you that it's not completely impossible for you to regain your sight. This time, it wasn't like half an hour ago. This time, the moment Lin Rei shouted, the system's cold and synthetic voice instantly appeared. After hearing what it said, Lin Rei immediately became happy. Really? Tell me, what is it? Lin Rei, who was eating, was like a lonely boat on a river in the dark night. When he felt that there was no hope, suddenly, a light appeared in front of him. Suddenly, the lonely boat seemed to have found a bright ray of hope. At this moment, Lin Rei was just like the lonely boat. After hearing the system's words, he grasped a trace of hope. It's actually very simple. You just have to advance to Hongmeng. Only then will I treat your eyes. What? Hearing the system's words, Linley was stunned on the spot. Ascending to the Grand Mist Realm was no joke. Putting aside the fact that the path ahead was full of obstacles, just the existence of the Saint's world was enough for him to endure. There's only one way to advance to Hongmeng, because your eyes were blinded by Hao Tian, and you used one of the 10 catastrophes from the Hongmeng era, the Grim Reaper's Tribulation. So, if you want to regain your sight, you have to advance to Hongmeng. Is that really the only way? Hearing the system solution, Lin Rei felt melancholy. He didn't know how long it would take to advance to Hongmeng. Just advancing to the Holy Realm was already very difficult. Thinking of this, Lin Rei not only resented Hao Tian, but he also silently remembered the hatred of Lin Rei for hurting his eyes. Hao Tian, wait for me. The Celestial Emperor of the Heavenly Court? When the time comes, even the Tao ancestor won't be able to save you. When the time comes, I'll let you know what despair is. Thinking of this, Lin Rei had already decided that as long as he saved his wife and child, he would prepare to enter the Holy Realm. He had to advance to Hongmeng in the shortest time possible. Only then would his eyes recover. Okay, I understand. I will cultivate as soon as possible and strive to advance to Hongmeng as soon as possible. Chapter 586. Okay. The system replied indifferently, then disappeared, no longer paying any attention to Linley. At this moment, Lin Ray, who had decided to cultivate properly, exited the system and returned to his room. Lin Ray was not used to the darkness in front of him. Sigh. This is... When he thought about how his eyes had been blinded, Linley's heart was filled with anger, and his anger began to rise as well. TSK, forget it. I'll just refine a pill that can temporarily relieve the pain. Otherwise, the pain will continue. I'm afraid I'll die from the pain before I reach the holy mountain. As Lin Ray spoke, the worldly Huayu was instantly brought out. Instantly, a medicinal fragrance wafted out. Huh. Lin Ray smirked when he sensed the medicinal fragrance. TSK, if this goes on, I might even be able to upgrade the worldly Huayu. Although he couldn't see, his divine sense was like a pair of eyes, able to observe the outside world very carefully. Even if an ant was passing by, he would be able to sense it. In addition, right now, Linley felt as though his eyes had been blinded, but his heart had calmed down. Haha, maybe this is an opportunity that I don't know about. As Lin Ray spoke, he did not waste any more time. He took out the ingredients for refining the pill from his ring and sent them out with the illusory spirit blood fire. Boom! As soon as the illusory spirit blood fire appeared, the temperature in the room rose sharply. Everything in the room, whether it was wood or bedding, was turned into dust the moment the illusory spirit blood fire appeared. Ha! Sensing the changes in his surroundings, Lin Ray smiled. Then, his expression turned serious. This was the first time he had refined a pill after reaching the honorable level. Therefore, this time, not only was it to relieve the pain in his eyes, but it was also a test of his honorable level. The heavenly spirit pill was an honorable level pill that could relieve the pain caused by being struck by lightning. It was also Lin Ray's first time refining this pill. Therefore, he did not completely refine it in one go. True Tai water, purple jade wooden fish heart, fire spirit fruit. At this moment, Lin Ray took out precious medicinal ingredients that were hard to find even in the God realm. Furthermore, looking at his relaxed expression, it was as if these things were worthless. However, when Lin Ray took out the ingredients for refining the heaven spirit pill, he was shocked and felt a faint heartache. It was just short of bleeding. One had to know that these medicinal ingredients were all painstakingly obtained by him. Even though he knew that the purpose of refining the pill was to treat his eye injury, it would still hurt. As the heaven and earth Huayu warmed up, Lin Ray picked up the fire spirit fruit and threw it into the heaven and earth Huayu to refine it. F***CK. Suddenly, the moment the fire spirit fruit came into contact with the illusory spirit blood fire, Linley let out a cry of surprise. Immediately after, he sensed that the fire spirit fruit that he had thrown into the worldly splendor was instantly incinerated by the illusory spirit blood fire. Looking at the crumbs of the spiritual medicine at the bottom of the heaven and earth Huayu, Lin Ray's heart suddenly throbbed in pain. F***CK. This has to be my medicine. A painful roar came out of Lin Ray's mouth. His face was already scrunched up. Sigh. He had no choice. In order to refine the pill and verify his honorable level, he had no choice but to look at the crumbs. Hardening his heart, Linley once more took out a fire spirit fruit. He used his consciousness to check the fire spirit fruit in his hand and said with a shocked expression, "Fire spirit fruit, fire spirit fruit. Don't spoil it again." There was only so much to begin with. It wasn't easy to get this little bit. If it were to be used up in this matter, then, speaking of this, Lin Ray threw the fire spirit fruit into the heaven and earth Huayu unwillingly. Boom! Suddenly another scream came out of Lin Ray's mouth. The moment he threw the fire spirit fruit into the heaven and earth Huayu, his consciousness followed the fire spirit fruit into the heaven and earth Huayu. The result was the same as before. The moment the fire spirit fruit came into contact with the illusory spirit blood fire, it was incinerated and turned into dregs. Lin Ray was puzzled by this. This situation had never happened before. However, it was happening frequently now. Furthermore, it was consuming his most precious spiritual medicine. How could he remain calm? No, I don't want to believe it. The flames must be too high. That's why the fire spirit fruit, which is also of the fire attribute, was incinerated. This time, I'll reduce the flames and see what the result is. Thinking of this, Lin Ray took out another fire spirit fruit reluctantly. This time, Lin Ray was very determined. This time, he would definitely succeed. Then, under Lin Ray's control, the illusory spirit blood fire decreased significantly. However, even so, the surrounding temperature was still the same as before. It did not decrease at all. Whoosh! The moment the power of the flames decreased, Lin Ray threw the fire spirit fruit into the heaven and earth Huayu. His consciousness followed along. He wanted to see if he would succeed this time. Damn it, in the end. What made him feel helpless was that the moment he saw the fire spirit fruit in the heaven and earth Huayu come into contact with the illusory spirit blood fire, it turned into dregs as usual. Seeing this, Lin Ray could not help but swear. His face turned gloomy. He had never experienced such a situation before. Since this had happened so many times, Lin Ray knew that if he continued to try like this, his fire spirit fruit would definitely be used up. At that time, there would be no more fire spirit fruit. Then his eyes would have to continue to suffer. In this regard, Lin Ray gave up on continuing the trial. Instead, he listened and began to think about what went wrong. The room fell silent at this moment. However, when he was deep in thought, he did not withdraw the illusory spirit blood fire. Instead, it continued to stay in the heaven and earth Huayu. At this moment, in the center of Lake City, Xiefeng was lying in the array with her son, Feng Su. Feng Su, remember, I am your mother. As for that person, he is the one who saved us. He is your savior. If it wasn't for him, I'm afraid your mother would not have been able to see you on the day you were born. Oh, I know. At this moment, Feng Su, who was lying beside Xiefeng, heard her words and nodded. He nestled on the ground obediently. Looking at her son, Xiefeng was stunned for a moment. Then, her face turned gloomy and her tone became serious. As a descendant of the Phoenix clan, you must always remember. Back then, because Hong Jun started the great calamity of the Dragon Han in advance, we started a war with the Dragon clan and the Qilin clan. In the end, Hong Jun became a good person. It was also because of this that our Phoenix clan was trapped here. After hearing Xiefeng's story, Feng Su, who was already sleepy, immediately raised his head in surprise and listened seriously. Then what happened? Hearing Feng Su's question, Xiefeng was naturally willing to listen. Then, she began to narrate what happened back then. Back then, the heaven and earth came out. Great God Pangu. Just like this, Xiefeng began to tell Feng Su. This went on for 2 months. In these 2 months, Xiefeng basically told Feng Su about her experience in the Great Desolation era and picked out some important things. Just like this. Back then, because of the great calamity of the Dragon Han, our Phoenix clan declined. As for the Phoenix clan, they were completely wiped out in that great battle. However, perhaps there are exceptions, just like us. Sigh. After talking about her spiritual energy, Xiefeng couldn't help but sigh in disappointment. Her face was filled with sorrow. Yes, mother. Don't worry. I will definitely avenge you. I definitely will. At this moment, after listening to Xiefeng's story, Feng Su was already certain that the Xiefeng in front of her was her mother. Hearing her son's words, Xiefeng's eyes couldn't help but tear up. At this moment, the last line of defense in her heart was completely broken. Good child, good child. Mother knows what you mean, but now is not the time. You're still weak. However, with that kid around, you don't have to worry. The person who I felt the primal chaos chi in his hand earlier was Linley, the one who saved us. With his primal chaos chi, your cultivation speed will increase by several times. Moreover, the strength you will gain from cultivating will be on another level, several times that of ordinary people. Really? Hearing this, Feng Su's eyes were filled with excitement. At this moment, she couldn't help but stand up. Don't be anxious. It's not good for you to be so anxious. Furthermore, that brat isn't a good person. He can call himself true sovereign in front of me. There must be a power behind him that we don't know about. Furthermore, in his pill palace, there is a terrifying power that makes even me tremble. Therefore, we can't be anxious. Although CF Feng could sense her son's excitement and impatience, she wasn't confident about Lin Rei, especially after sensing the terrifying power in Lin Rei's body. Oh, I understand. Feng Su naturally listened to his mother's words. She immediately stood up and sat down again. Looking at her newborn son, CF Feng's expression became serious. She no longer had the doting expression from before. All right, I've said what I wanted to say. Now, Mother will impart the inheritance of the Phoenix clan to you. Yes, I understand. At this moment, Feng Su was very obedient. Whatever CF Feng said, he would do. He didn't know what the inheritance was. Remember this. From today onwards, you have inherited the inheritance of the Phoenix clan. You are the leader of the Phoenix clan. In the future, the Phoenix clan will depend on you to reproduce and strengthen. After saying this, CF Feng didn't wait for Feng Su's reply. Immediately, a fiery red light beam shot out from CF Feng's mouth and rushed towards Feng Su. With a swoosh, that fiery light entered Feng Su's mind before he could react. The Phoenix clan is the first batch of divine beings after the creation of the heavens and earth. The inheritance of the Phoenix clan is the wealth of the members of the Phoenix clan. This was a loud and clear voice. Every word carried the rhythm of the heavens and earth. Every sentence was like a lotus. As for the current situation, CF Feng naturally didn't know. Of course, even if she knew, she wouldn't stop it. Damn, so that's how it is. At this moment, in a guest room of the Yulian, Lin Rei, who had been silently thinking about the problem of the fire spirit fruit for 2 months, finally had a flash of inspiration today. He suddenly figured it out. That's not my fault. So it's because the pill formula was wrong. F***CK. Thinking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but curse. In these 2 months, the more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. It wasn't that he hadn't thought about the pill formula being wrong, but since his predecessors were able to refine it, he didn't pay much attention to this matter. Just now, he suddenly remembered that this pill formula was given to him by the little dragon. In an instant, he thought of the little dragon's usual tricks. Immediately, he used the spiritual herbs in the pill formula to arrange the medicinal ingredients. Finally, the heaven spirit pill that he had refined in his mind was successfully refined. At this moment, he was sure that it wasn't his fault. The pill formula itself was wrong. Thinking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but have a love-hate relationship with the little dragon. You brat, you're still thinking of testing me after cultivating in seclusion. Speaking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but worry about the little dragon. After such a long time, he didn't know how the little dragon was doing now. At this moment, in the system, after seeing that Lin Rei had cracked the pill formula, the system couldn't help but laugh. Silly brat, you're finally enlightened. 2 months. TSK, not bad. I thought you would take a few years. He knew about the mistakes in the pill formula. After all, the pill formula itself was a part of him. It came from him. At that time, the little dragon had tampered with it. Not only this pill formula, the little dragon had also tampered with the other pill formulas. At that time, the system didn't understand the little dragon's actions. At that time, the little dragon responded to the system with a serious expression. The host was able to improve so quickly because of us. If it's empty, then what's the difference between him and a useless person? Instead of letting him get it so easily, it's better for me to tamper with it a little and let him slowly think, and evolve. Only in this way can the host be truly powerful. The system confirmed the little dragon's words at that time. Therefore, when Lin Rei took out the pill formula, the system already knew and paid attention to it. However, Lin Rei obviously didn't know about these things. But with his understanding of the little dragon, it was easy for him to guess the instigator behind this matter. Sigh, little dragon, come back quickly. I miss you so much. I don't have any aura to bicker with you. I'm so bored and lonely. He sighed helplessly. Then, according to the evolution of the heaven spirit pill in his mind, he didn't hesitate any longer. A fire spirit fruit appeared in his hand, and he began to refine it according to the order and composition in his mind. This time, the refining of the fire spirit fruit went very smoothly. It didn't turn into dregs like before. Lin Ray smiled at this, but he didn't let his guard down. Instead, he became even more nervous. Chapter 587. As time passed, Lin Ray followed the steps of refining the heaven spirit pill in his mind and threw the spirit herbs into the heaven and earth Huayu to refine them. Slowly, Lin Ray let out a long sigh of relief after all the spiritual herbs had been refined in his spiritual liquid. However, he did not let his guard down because of this. The more he refined a pill, the more careful he had to be. Otherwise, he would fail at the last step and all his previous efforts would be wasted. Therefore, when refining pills, the first rule was to not panic, the second rule was to not rush, and the third and most crucial rule was to maintain one's mental strength above the pill furnace. Otherwise, if there was a mistake, the first two conditions would appear at the same time. Lin Ray chuckled as he looked at the dozen or so bottles filled with green elixir liquid. He wiped the sweat off his forehead. Then, he didn't stay any longer. His hand seals changed continuously. One after another, mysterious hand seals shot out unceasingly. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, the green liquid in the dozens of bottles involuntarily flew into the heaven and earth Huayu. Refine. Once the word refine was spoken, the 10 drops of jade liquid that flew into the heaven and earth magnificent universe began to fuse together. However, some of the jade liquid's attributes were not connected, and there were even signs of mutual rejection. However, at this moment, Lin Ray, who had been observing the signs of their fusion, did not have a trace of worry on his face. God Realm, starting ground. Kacha. Originally, the sky was clear and the spirit chi was abundant. From time to time, birds would fly by and herds of beasts would walk around. However, on such a clear day, a large patch of dark clouds suddenly appeared at this moment. The area of the dark clouds was very large. It spread out for thousands of miles, and the sound of thunder resounded throughout the world. What's going on? Let's go and see what's going on. At this moment, the sects that were stationed at the starting ground of the divine world had a change in expression the moment this phenomenon appeared. They quickly sent people out to investigate the situation. Kacha! Kacha! At this moment, thunder rumbled within the dark clouds. It was as if the heavens and earth were enraged. It was very frightening. However, at this moment, in the area where the thunder rumbled, a long howl instantly spread between the heavens and the earth. Phew! Father, I've finally followed in your footsteps. I've finally arrived in your world. At this moment, the person standing under the lightning was none other than a stranger. It was none other than Lin Ray's son, Lin Yun, who had already reached the immortal venerable realm when Lin Ray left. Sect Master, is this the God realm? The spiritual energy here is so abundant. Compared to the immortal plane, this place is too suitable for us to cultivate. An old man among the tens of thousands of people standing behind Lin Yun took a step forward and spoke to Lin Yun. Yes, that's right. This is a paradise for cultivators. However, we've only just arrived in the God world, so we don't know the situation yet. Tell them to be careful. Yes. When the old man heard Lin Yun's words, he immediately turned around and transmitted an order to everyone behind him. Who are you? Just as Lin Yun was curiously looking around, an interrogative voice echoed from not far away. Upon hearing the voice, Lin Yun immediately became vigilant. With their current strength, it was not easy for them to make enemies when they had just arrived in the God world. Moreover, they knew that their strength naturally couldn't be compared to the cultivators in the God world. Immediately after, Lin Yun's voice became slightly weaker as he spoke to the sky. Senior, I'm a god who ascended from the immortal plane. May I know where we are? Oh, ascended from the immortal plane? At this moment, the person who spoke frowned when he heard Lin Yun's words. Logically speaking, ascending from the immortal plane to the God world should be prematurely foreshadowed. Moreover, it had only been a few hundred years since the last ascension. Regarding this, the man was very puzzled. Yes, Senior. We've ascended from the mortal plane. Please tell us where we are. This is the starting point of the God world. It's a place that all ascenders must pass through. Since you've ascended from the immortal plane, then come out. I'll arrange a place for you to stay. The person who spoke wasn't anyone else. If Lin Ray was here, he would definitely recognize him. This person was Gu Si, the person who had given him a free pass when he ascended to the God world. Gu Si was a disciple of the divine sect's sect master. However, he wasn't willing to stay in the divine sect. Instead, he was free here. He didn't have to be restrained or worry about anything. All he had to do was wait here, cultivate, and then bring the ascenders to the divine realm back to the divine sect. He liked this kind of mission very much. Therefore, after the incident at the Death Canyon, he didn't return to the divine sect. Instead, he came directly to the starting point. At this moment, when he heard Lin Yun's words, Gu Si smiled. As the saying goes, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. How could he give up on such a great opportunity? Although there were many disciples sent by the divine sect to investigate beside him, they all knew about Gu Si. Therefore, when Gu Si spoke, they didn't say anything. All right, thank you, fellow Taoist. Lin Yun didn't reject Gu Si's words. After all, they had just arrived, and it was better not to go overboard. After all, this wasn't the immortal plane that they had once ruled. Here, any cultivator could crush them to death. Okay. Come on up. Hearing the other party agree, Gu Si was naturally happy. Who could cause the phenomenon of a lightning tribulation of 10,000 miles the moment they appeared? How could he not covet such a genius? Let's go. Lin Yun didn't know why Gu Si was talking outside, but after hearing his words, he didn't hesitate and directly led the tens of thousands of Xuanzong sect disciples out of the lightning zone. Phew. In the lightning zone, Lin Yun spat out a mouthful of turbid air. His expression relaxed. However, under that relaxation, he was more vigilant. After all, who knew what would happen in this unfamiliar world? When Gu Si, who had been waiting outside, saw Lin Yun, he was ready to go forward to welcome him. However, a second person appeared right after. When he saw the second person, who was dressed in black and gave him a very familiar feeling, Gu Si was stunned on the spot. And after the third person appeared, the third, the fourth, the fifth person followed closely behind, just like that. When all the tens of thousands of Xuanzong sect disciples appeared, the people who had been sent to investigate were all stunned on the spot. What the? Isn't this too many? They had seen tens of thousands of people who had been promoted, but when they saw that they were all wearing the same clothes, they were all stunned on the spot. This was obvious. Everyone knew that if they wore the same clothes, they were either disciples of aristocratic families or sections. However, there were tens of thousands of people in front of them at this moment. Therefore, they had already ruled out the disciples of aristocratic families, leaving only the disciples of sections. This made them even more shocked. According to this number, there should be people from Sect. With such strength, how could they not be shocked? How could they not be astonished? This was the first time in 1,000,000. No, 10 million years that such a scene had appeared. However, the stunned Gu Si's eyes were filled with disbelief. There were a few times when he wanted to ask, but he felt that it would be impolite. Of course, Lin Yun naturally noticed Gu Si's strange behavior. He stepped forward with a smile and looked at Gu Si. What's wrong with you? Senior, I wonder if there is something on my face that you are looking at me like this? Hearing Lin Yun's question, Gu Si was momentarily at a loss for words and began to stammer. Seeing Gu Si like this, the people who had come with him couldn't help but smile. Oomph. Hearing their laughter, Gu Si forced himself to calm down. Gu Si let out a cold snort and forced herself to calm down. Then, she asked the question in her mind, boy, it's like this. I'm very interested in the man behind you who is wearing black clothes and has a murderous look on his face. Moreover, he gives me a very familiar feeling, just like those people around my other friend. I can feel that they're the same kind of people. What, you? You have seen cultivators like him? Where? Where are they? At this moment, after hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun instantly lost his calm. He valued this information very much because he knew that in this world, only his father, Lin Ray, could have such people. And the first thing they had to do after ascending to the God realm was to look for Lin Ray. Therefore, after hearing this, how could Lin Yun remain calm? When Gu Si saw that the person in front of him was so agitated, he immediately confirmed his previous thoughts. The person in front of him might know his good friend, Lin Ray. However, Gu Si didn't immediately say this information. After all, Lin Ray had gone a little overboard on the 5th level of the Death Canyon. He was afraid that if he said this, it would bring unnecessary trouble to the person in front of him. Although he still didn't know the relationship between the person in front of him and Lin Ray, he felt that their relationship was definitely not shallow. How about this? Follow me back to the Divine Sect first. There's a place for you to stay there. What do you think? Moreover, this is the starting ground. At the same time, it is also a forbidden area of the God realm. Here, even the lowest level of demonic beasts can kill you. Although you can call the wind and summon the rain in the immortal world, you're nothing here. After saying that, Gu Si didn't say anything else and walked away. Interesting. Looking at Gu Si, Lin Yun started to become interested in him. As for what he said just now, Lin Yun didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. Instead, he felt that what he said was very correct. Of course, the main reason was because of the information about Lin Ray. Let's go. Saying to the old man beside him, Lin Yun immediately chased after Gu Si. At this moment, behind him, there was a group of tens of thousands of people following. This scene shocked many people. A group like this wasn't often seen in the God realm. Although their cultivation was only at the God realm, they were all from the same sect. Just based on this point, they had already surpassed some of the sects in the God realm. Hey, wait. At this moment, Lin Yun finally arrived near Gu Si. However, because he was anxious to know about Lin Ray, he lost his composure. Hurry up and tell me where you saw those people. Apart from them, who else have you seen? Tell me, can you not run away? At this moment, Gu Si, who was walking in front, had a smile on his face. He was aware of the shout behind him. Hey! Suddenly, a roar with the cultivation of a god was heard. Although he was only at the God realm, he was taught everything by Lin Ray. Therefore, his cultivation naturally wouldn't be too bad. His voice was so loud that everyone in the surroundings heard it. All right, I can tell you whatever you want to know. Not sure if it was because Lin Yun's shout or something else, Gu Si, who was walking in front, suddenly stopped and turned around with a smile on his face. Gu Si's action stunned Lin Yun. He didn't understand why this person would do this. However, how could he give up on such a good opportunity? Lin Ray used to say that he would be a bastard if he didn't take advantage of an opportunity. I want to know why you said that the person behind me is so familiar. Also, you said that you saw someone who looked exactly like him. Where did you see them? Apart from them, who else have you seen? She asked one question after another. At this moment, Gu Si was even more certain that the person in front of her was definitely related to Lin Li. Not only did she see the person behind him, but she also saw the way he spoke, and the way he spoke, and the way he spoke revealed a trace of Lin Li. All right, I'll tell you. I saw him at the starting ground. That person is called Lin Ray. He ascended from the lower realms and eventually joined the Divine Sect. As for those mysterious people, I met them by chance. I'm not very familiar with them, but they are very strong. I'm not their match. Father? You've seen my father. Then where is he now? Do you know? What? Lin Ray is your father? At this moment, when he heard the person in front of him say that Lin Ray was his father, he was immediately shocked. That's right. Since you know my father and have even joined the Divine Sect, your relationship should be pretty good. I want to know where my father is now and if he's all right. Lin Yun ignored Gu Si's shock. Right now, he wanted to know where his father was, whether he was doing well, and whether he had encountered any trouble. These were the things he wanted to know the most. When the stunned Gu Si heard Lin Ray's words, he immediately recovered from his shock and calmed himself down. Then, he began to talk about Lin Ray. At this moment, in the Ghost Realms Lake City, Lin Ray, who was refining pills, didn't know that his son and the sect he founded had all come to the divine realm. Moreover, he had coincidentally bumped into Gusi. At this moment, he was smiling as he looked at the pill bottle in his hand. His eyes were filled with passion. Hee, I've finally refined the heavenly spirit pill. TSK, a venerable level pill. Looking at the pill, the pain in his eyes became more and more severe. Following that, Lin Ray didn't hesitate and poured out a red pill from the pill bottle. Without saying anything, he raised his head and swallowed it. With a gulp, the pill melted in his mouth and turned into a huge medicinal effect. Under Lin Ray's guidance, it entered his eyes that had been blinded by lightning and began to nourish them. Chapter 588. Phew, this feels good. Because of a nourishment from the heavenly spiritual pill, the pain in his wound lessened significantly. Hence, Lin Ray didn't pay attention to his surroundings and moaned out loud. Of course, the pain in his wound was only temporarily alleviated. It wasn't completely healed. His eyes were still the same as before. He couldn't see anything. In the blink of an eye, more than an hour had passed. Under Lin Ray's guidance, the effects of the heavenly spiritual pill were finally exhausted. However, Lin Ray calculated that according to the effects of the heavenly spiritual pill, he would have to take it every once in a while. Otherwise, the pain would appear again. Sigh. TSK, so troublesome. With that, Lin Ray casually removed the array around him. Then, he stood up and put away the worldly Huayu. He pushed the door open and walked out. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The moment he walked out of the room, the sound of birds chirping entered his ears. The sound was lively and crisp. It was very pleasant to the ears. Hearing it, Lin Ray, who was originally in a bad mood, calmed down instantly. Ha ha! Quietly, Lin Ray, who felt the darkness in front of him, laughed foolishly. He didn't stay any longer. Then, he released his divine sense and walked towards Xiefeng. Previously, he had already decided that after resolving the pain in his eyes, he would let Xiefeng bring him to the holy mountain to activate the rebirth state. As for Xiefeng's strength, he naturally knew about it. Hence, Lin Ray wasn't afraid of the three Ghost Kings at all. Because of the existence of his divine sense, he could still sense the outside world very clearly. Of course, in this way, he had to keep releasing his divine sense and couldn't withdraw it. He walked towards the center of Lake City. Along the way, the streets were dilapidated. It wasn't as prosperous as it was when he first came. Regarding all this, Lin Ray could only sigh and feel pity. Of course, he didn't sympathize. The strong preyed on the weak, and the survival of the fittest was the rule of this world. Regarding this, Lin Ray didn't reject it. Just as Linley drew near the demonic phoenix, a phoenix cry rang out, its voice filled with a murderous aura as it raised its head to the heavens and howled. Lin Ray, who heard the cry of the phoenix, immediately stopped in his tracks. Then he transmitted his voice, "It's me, Lin Ray." Xiefeng frowned when she heard Lin Ray's voice transmission. However, she didn't stop him. She immediately withdrew her killing intent. Sensing the disappearance of the killing intent, Lin Ray heaved a sigh of relief. He walked up to Xiefeng and said, "How is it? Let's go to the Saint Mountain now. I want to open the reincarnation mirror and find the whereabouts of my wife and child as soon as possible." "Leave now?" Upon hearing Lin Ray's words, Xiefeng's frown deepened as she hesitated. "What? You have something to do?" Lin Ray, who had released his divine sense, noticed Xiefeng's hesitation. Regarding this, Lin Ray couldn't help but ask. After all, for Xiefeng, who had just been unsealed, Lin Ray really couldn't figure out what she could do. "No, it's just that Feng Su has just received the inheritance. I want to wait for him to completely receive the inheritance before leaving with you. What do you think? Of course, you can object, but Feng Su's inheritance can't be broken." "What?" Upon hearing Xiefeng's words, Lin Ray was stunned. However, he quickly regained his senses and said with a relaxed expression, "Don't worry. I will handle this matter. I will send your son to a particularly safe place to receive the inheritance. That place will only be beneficial to him and won't bring him any harm." The evil phoenix was stunned when he heard this. His eyes were filled with confusion. Before he could come back to his senses, Linley took a step forward. With a thought, Feng Su, who was in the process of receiving the inheritance, was instantly sucked into the system. He believed that if there was a place in the world that was the safest, Linley could swear to everyone that it was the system. And that wasn't all. He had already placed Feng Su within the Primal Chaos formation and had her absorb the Primal Chaos aura. You brat, where's my son? Hurry up and hand him over. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Even if you saved me before, don't think about living. At that moment, when Xie Feng returned to her senses and realized that Feng Su had disappeared, she was instantly enraged. Her brain lost all ability to make judgments and threatened Lin Ray directly. Ugh. Looking at Xie Feng's reaction, Lin Ray smiled and didn't mind Xie Feng's actions. He knew the reason why Xie Feng did this. That was because she realized that her son was gone. Lin Ray understood this very well. After all, if it were him, perhaps he would be even more unreasonable than her. Haha, don't worry, your son is fine. He is now in a safe place where he will continue to grow stronger, Lin Ray said, and couldn't help but glance at Xie Feng. Then he continued, as for the outside world, he won't receive anything. After receiving the inheritance, his level will still be the same. However, it won't be the same in that place. At that moment, Lin Ray revealed the benefits of the system. At that moment, he told Xie Feng everything in one go. Let me tell you, he will receive something that he can't in this world. Of course, it's not in the celestial realm, but he won't receive anything in the outside world. If you insist, I can let him out. As for going to the Holy Mountain, I can also wait. But when the time comes, your son... Okay, just as Lin Ray was about to say that he wanted to move Lin Ray out of the system, a voice appeared in Xie Feng's mind. That voice told her to believe in Lin Ray. Although it was a little ridiculous, she believed in him. Before Linley could finish speaking, she immediately spoke up to stop him. This time, it was the exact opposite of what she had done before. Previously, she wanted her son to appear, but now, she really wanted her son to continue staying in the mysterious place that Linley had spoken of. Okay, I believe in you. I believe that you can make my son stronger. I believe that you can do it. As soon as she said this, Lin Ray's fluctuating emotions calmed down. Haha, okay. Since you said that, it means that we can go to the Holy Mountain now, right? Upon hearing this, Xie Feng was speechless. But Lin Ray was right. Since the matter of her son receiving the inheritance had been resolved, she could go to the Holy Mountain now. Haha, here. This is for you. Although the quality of the pill isn't good, I hope you won't reject it. Recalling that Xie Feng was left with some internal injuries when breaking the enchanted field, Lin Ray took out the Heaven Spirit pill that he had just refined and handed it to Xie Feng. Facing Lin Ray's action, Xie Feng was taken aback, but she didn't reject it. Then, a stream of spiritual energy appeared and wrapped Lin Ray's pill. Then, the spiritual energy dragged the pill into Xie Feng's mouth. The moment Xie Feng ate Lin Ray's pill, her closed eyes suddenly opened and a glint flashed across her eyes. This is the pill that you refined? The demonic phoenix couldn't help but ask in astonishment as she sensed the powerful medicinal effects. She stared at Linley in astonishment. Not bad. What's wrong? In response to Xie Feng's question, Lin Ray didn't have to hide the truth. Anyway, he didn't intend to hide his identity as a pill master. Aha! Kid, I didn't expect you to be a god emperor cultivator at such a young age. What's more surprising is that you're such a powerful pill master. Seeing Xie Feng's reaction, Lin Ray was taken aback. He didn't understand why Xie Feng had changed so much. At that moment, just as Lin Ray was about to say something, Xie Feng's voice sounded again. Kid, I have another request. I wonder if you can agree to it? Lin Ray was completely stunned by Xie Feng's question. However, Lin Ray nodded his head and agreed to it. What? What is it? Haha, okay. Seeing Lin Ray agree, Xie Feng immediately told him her thoughts. I want my son to follow you. Of course, I don't ask for much. I just want you to maintain my son's cultivation resources. Of course, if you want resources, I can naturally fight for my son. But after I complete the deal with you, I will be heading to the Holy World to find the Heavenly Emperor to settle the score. If I bring Feng Su with me, I'm afraid. Hearing this, Lin Ray nodded his head in understanding. Okay, I understand. However, how could Lin Ray give up such a good opportunity? After all, Feng Su was a true ancient divine beast. Moreover, she was born from the first batch of living beings in the world. Her talent was even more obvious. Okay, don't worry. If you really leave, I will definitely complete what you said today. As for pills, if your son wants to eat them, I can make him vomit. Xie Feng had already expected Lin Ray to agree to her request. At the same time, she was very happy. However, Xie Feng was a little disapproving of Lin Ray's words. Okay, since that's the case, let's go. I will help you complete the 3 deals as soon as possible. Then, I will leave this place. Okay. Looking at Xie Feng, Lin Ray did not say anything and immediately jumped on his Xie Feng's back. As for the Scarlet Flame Tiger, Lin Ray nodded to it. Without waiting for its reply, he immediately kept it back into the system. Let's go. Everything was ready. Xie Feng spread her wings and instantly soared into the sky, disappearing into the horizon. The sacred mountain was in the center of the ghost world. There were 3 ghost kings guarding it, and the 3 ghost kings were the true guardians of the ghost world. As long as it was an order from the 3 ghost kings, everyone had to obey. Otherwise, those who disobeyed would definitely disappear from this world. As for the reincarnation mirror, it was even more mysterious. Everyone wanted to see it quickly. However, because the requirements to open the reincarnation mirror were too harsh, even the 3 ghost kings had not been able to open it. At the starting ground, in the Arcane Sect's camp, Gu Si was chatting happily with Lin Yun. Especially when she heard Lin Yun talk about the interesting things that happened to Lin Ray in the lower realm, she laughed even more excitedly. Ha. Apart from their laughter, no other sound could be heard in the camp. Regarding this, apart from the Xuanzong Sect, the other Arcane Sect members felt very helpless. Okay, Senior Gu Si, since we know about my father's situation, we should leave now. Looking at the time, Lin Yun stood up and bid farewell to Gu Si. Then, he turned around and prepared to leave. But at this moment, Gu Si hurriedly stood up and stopped him. Lin Yun, can you go out like this? Wanting to establish a sect in the divine realm isn't a joke. You have to know that you're still too weak. Even the weakest sect in the divine realm can crush you. Are you sure you want to do this? He had already heard about Lin Yun wanting to establish a sect in the god realm. Therefore, when he saw that Lin Yun was about to leave, he couldn't help but speak out to dissuade him. TSK, this matter, I know what I'm doing. Although I know that my Xuanzong sect is too weak right now, so weak that we can't even compare to the lowest level sect in the god realm. So what? The sect was established by my father. I can't watch all the disciples of the sect join other sections. If that happens, my father will definitely blame me. Achio. At this moment, Lin Ray, who was riding on Xie Feng to the sacred mountain, suddenly sneezed. Then, he looked around in puzzlement and said to himself, "Who's thinking of me?" Of course, he would never have imagined that his son, Lin Yun, had already brought the Xuanzong sect he had founded back then to the god realm. SSS, why won't you listen to my advice? Do you know how powerful a divine armament cultivator is? Do you know how powerful a divine guard is? Do you know, at this moment, Gu Si was getting more and more agitated. So much so that he couldn't help but use his body language when speaking. Looking at Gu Si's appearance, Lin Yun's heart warmed. He knew that Gu Si was doing this to protect him and the disciples of the Xuanzong sect behind him. But if he didn't do this, would he really have to join the god sect? Just like this, when the two disagreed, the two fell into a stalemate. Time passed little by little. Lin Yun and Gu Si just stood there, ignoring each other. Just like that, the stalemate continued. Finally, at this moment, Gu Si let out a long sigh. As though he had made an important decision, he opened his mouth and broke the current stalemate. How about this? If you want to establish a sect in the deity realm, I won't stop you. But to ensure your safety, I have to watch over you. I will temporarily join you until your father, Linley, returns. Only then will I leave. Oh, really? At this moment, after hearing Gu Si's thoughts, Lin Yun was stunned for a moment. He had never thought that Gu Si would be like this. Yes, that's right. Although your father and I can't be considered as close friends, I admire his character very much. Therefore, I am willing to help you until your father returns. After receiving another confirmation, Lin Yun became excited. Although he didn't know Gu Si's current strength, he knew that he must be very powerful to be friends with his father. All right, thank you, Senior Gu Si. Don't worry, I'll be very careful when it comes to establishing the sect. Furthermore, before the sect's strength increases, I won't let the sect appear in front of others. Chapter 589. Tell me about your plan. After all, I'm not very familiar with the sect. Moreover, I've only heard about the Xuanzong sect from Lin Ray back in the Death Canyon. As for the specifics, speaking of which, Gu Si shrugged with a puzzled expression on his face. Okay, then I'll tell you my idea. Lin didn't know why, but he inexplicably trusted Gu Si. Moreover, the most inconceivable thing to Lin Yun was that he actually wanted to tell this person he had just met about his idea. Hearing Lin Yun's words, Gu Si smiled. He knew that Lin Yun believed him. It's like this. Just like that, Lin Yun told Gu Si his plan in detail. I want to find a paradise and then decide on the location of the sect. After that, I'll let the sect disciples cultivate in seclusion or go out to gain experience to increase their strength. Not bad, a good idea. Hearing Lin Yun's plan, Gu Si nodded in agreement. Of course, it wasn't that he wanted to agree, but with the Xuanzong sect's current strength, this was the only way. It was impossible to think of anything else. Then when a portion of the sect's disciples reach a certain level, I'll send a portion of them to look for my father, Lin Ray. As for the other portion, I'll lead them to start activities in the God realm and strive to spread the sect's prestige as soon as possible. Speaking of which, Lin Yun paused for a moment. After glancing at Gu Si, he continued, there are two uses for this. Firstly, this will allow my father, Lin Ray, to hear news of me and the sect coming. Secondly, it will let those sects that have been living comfortably for a long time know that the Xuanzong sect is coming and their comfortable lives are coming to an end. Hearing Lin Yun's idea, Gu Si frowned. He didn't quite agree with Lin Yun's idea. He somewhat understood the first, but he didn't quite understand the second. At this moment, Lin Yun naturally noticed Gu Si's doubts and immediately explained, my Xuanzong sect has been a giant ever since it was founded. Although we've just entered the God realm, we're not willing to be too comfortable. This way, the disciples below us will develop laziness in their bones. I believe that this is something no sect wants to see. Hearing this, Gu Si couldn't help showing a look of admiration. He felt that Lin Yun was right. If the sect's disciples' laziness, then the sect would already be on the path to extinction. Secondly, it's through experience. Only by constantly forcing yourself can you quickly increase your strength. I believe that these thoughts of mine are also the thoughts of every Xuanzong sect's disciple. Only in this way can our Xuanzong sect quickly squeeze into the ranks of the God Realm's giants. Whoa! At this moment, after hearing Lin Yun's words, the way Gu Si looked at him changed. He no longer looked after him like before, but looked at him as if he was of the same generation. As for what Lin Yun had just said, Gu Si was completely convinced. He didn't expect that Lin Ray was already abnormal enough, but he didn't expect that his son would also be so abnormal. Regarding this, Gu Si was completely speechless. As expected, like father, like son. Like father, like son. Let's not talk about your father's strength. I didn't expect that as his son, you would also be the same. You're too modest. Compared to my father, I'm simply a small child in front of a great one. These experiences were all passed down by my father. Moreover, the Xuanzong sect disciple behind me are all geniuses that my father recruited from various worlds. Every one of them is one of the best, and I believe it's the same even in the God realm. Gu Si didn't want to say anything about Lin Yun's words. He was completely convinced by Lin Rei. Not only did he have a powerful and mysterious team, but he also had a sect full of geniuses. However, he still didn't believe Lin Yun's words. If one were to say that everyone in the Xian sect were geniuses, he would not believe it. If one were to say that there were a few, he could still accept it. However, just based on what he saw, there were more than 30,000 geniuses. This was no joke. Seeing Gu Si's rich expression, Lin Yun laughed in his heart, but he didn't laugh out loud. "All right, let's go. I'll help you find the location of your sect." "Really?" "Yes. That's great." Gu Si's words had solved one of Lin Yun's biggest worries. After all, he had just arrived in the God Realm and didn't know much about the God Realm. Therefore, Lin Yun was very happy that Gu Si was helping him find a location for his sect. "Haha, it's nothing. After all, I'm also a member of the Xuanzong sect now." Gu Si took out a map and placed it on the table. The entire map of the 9 prefectures appeared in front of Lin Yun. When he saw the 9 prefectures of the God Realm, Lin Yun couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. The map that appeared in front of Lin Yun was very detailed. He was sure that even when he was in the immortal world, he hadn't seen such a detailed map. Moreover, it wasn't just the details of the map. What shocked Lin Yun even more was the size of the map. If the immortal world was compared to the God Realm, Lin Yun wouldn't be able to compare the size of the immortal world to the God Realm. Of course, even if the Xuanzong sect became the ruler of the immortal world, he was still curious about how big the immortal world was. Moreover, Lin Yun dared to guarantee that the map of the God Realm that appeared in front of him was definitely not the entire God Realm. "Haha. All right, hurry up and take a look. Where do you want to establish your sect?" Gu Si could understand Lin Yun's shocked expression. She didn't say anything else and directly asked Lin Yun. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun pondered and looked at the map of the God Realm. On the map, all the dangerous places, hidden places, and the heavenly chasm were clearly indicated. Even the major sects were marked on it. His gaze quickly focused on the map. All kinds of dangerous places, hidden places, and the heavenly chasm floated in front of Lin Yun's eyes. At this moment, a name appeared in front of him. His eyes, which were originally calm like an ancient well, suddenly flashed. Then, his gaze was fixed on that place. Gu Si also noticed Lin Yun's abnormality. She immediately looked at the map. However, when Gu Si saw the place Lin Yun was looking at, her expression changed, and she quickly stopped him. "No, that place can't be. That place really can't be. It's too dangerous. With your current strength, it's not suitable for you to go there." "Oh, why?" Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun asked curiously. He knew that the place he was looking at was a hidden place. However, when he saw that place for the first time, he was deeply attracted by the topography and the name of the place. At the same time, at that moment, he decided to establish his sect there. Looking at Lin Yun's fearless appearance, Gu Si really wanted to go up and give him a knock on the head. She rolled her eyes at him. Even so, Gu Si still told him about the situation there. Celestial Dragon Mountain is one of the most powerful places in the God Realm. Let's not talk about you. Even if I were to enter, it would be impossible for me to escape unscathed. Oh, hearing this, Lin Yun's face was full of surprise. However, he didn't give up on the idea of going to Celestial Dragon Mountain. Celestial Dragon Mountain. The reason why it's called Celestial Dragon Mountain is because someone once saw the Dragon Clan inside. The Dragon Clan is a godly existence. Even though we're divine realm experts now, when we meet the Dragon Clan, we can only be torn apart. Haha, Dragon Race. Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun became even more interested in that place. Especially when he heard that there might be the existence of the Dragon Race. He was even more determined to go there. Dragon Race? Haha, so what if it's the Dragon Race? In the Xuanzong sect, there are 2 dragon race, a black dragon and a golden dragon. They were both obtained by Lin Rei. But when Lin Rei ascended to the God Realm, he left them behind in the immortal world, accompanied by the Cloud Pagoda. Yes, that's right, the dragon race. Not only that, the demonic beasts, they're also very powerful, so you should reconsider. Moreover, the God Realm is so big, you might not necessarily fly to Celestial Dragon Mountain. There are many other places, such as the Thousand Treasures Mountain, the Universe Cave, Nikuin Cave, or something like that. At this moment, Gusi was thinking of ways to stop Lin Yun from establishing a sect in Celestial Dragon Mountain. Looking at his appearance, Lin Yun revealed a harmless expression. Gusi didn't understand Lin Yun's sudden smile. If an ordinary person heard his words, they would have changed their direction. He would definitely change his path and go somewhere else. But Lin Yun didn't do what he thought he would do at this moment. Awoo! Awoo! Suddenly, 2 dragon roars resounded through the clouds. If Gusi hadn't already set up a barrier, these dragon roars would have resounded through the universe and the 9 heavens. Dragon roars? Although he had never seen the dragon clan before, he was very clear about the dragon's roar. The moment he heard the dragon's roar, when he heard the dragon roars, Gusi didn't even think about it. Her late-stage divine ancestor cultivation was released, and she vigilantly looked around. Not only that, but the moment the dragon roar sounded, Gusi rushed to Lin Yun's side and used her own cultivation to set up a barrier to envelop him. Looking at Gusi's actions, Lin Yun's heart felt warm. He really wanted to poach such a person and make her a true disciple of the Xuanzong sect. At the same time, he was happy that his father, Lin Rei, could make such a friend. Be quiet. I don't know what's going on, but there are dragon roars here. If a dragon race really appears, you should leave first. Even if I have to drag it out, I have to ensure your safety. Hearing Gusi's words, Lin Yun revealed a guilty expression. He could explain the dragon roars just now. Moreover, he was the instigator of this matter. Chapter 590. Senior, I'm sorry. You should withdraw your cultivation first. When Gusi, who was vigilant of her surroundings, heard the voice behind her, she turned her head to look at Lin Yun with a doubtful expression. When Gusi saw the apologetic expression on Lin Yun's face, he immediately felt that something was wrong. Senior, I'm really sorry. Actually, the dragon roar was made by me. What? It was you? Gusi cried out in surprise, but he didn't dare to believe his words. At the same time, his eyes were filled with shock. Even though he didn't want to believe it, after seeing Lin Yun's apologetic expression, he slowly began to accept this fact. Yes, it was me. No, it wasn't me, but it has something to do with me. What are you talking about? If it was you, then it was you. If it wasn't you, then it wasn't you. What do you mean by it wasn't you? You've confused me. Lin Yun didn't explain further after hearing Gusi's words. Then he opened the cloud pagoda and let the dark dragon and the little golden dragon out. Roar, roar, 2 dragon roars resounded at this moment. Not only that, but the moment the cloud pagoda was released, a dazzling light instantly appeared in the room. As soon as the strong light appeared, Gusi couldn't bear it and hurriedly closed her eyes. Only after the light disappeared did she slowly open her eyes. However, the moment she opened her eyes, there were 2 more people in the room. One was a teenager, and the other was a middle-aged man. Looking at the 2 of them, Gusi fell silent. His eyes were filled with doubt. He didn't understand how the 2 of them came in. He remembered that he had already set up a barrier when he entered the room. Thinking of this, Gusi hurriedly released his divine sense to investigate the barrier. It's not broken. Seeing this, Gusi was even more bewildered. He then asked Lin Yun, these 2 are... This is Long Ao, and this is the little golden dragon. Lin Yun didn't hide anything from Gusi. He pointed at the man and the child and introduced them to Gusi. Long Ao, little golden dragon? Hearing their names, Gusi was even more puzzled. However, at this moment, a scene that Gusi would never forget for the rest of her life appeared. At this moment, the 2 of them turned into 2 dragons, one black and the other golden. Because the house was small, the 2 of them only transformed into dragons that were about 2 meters tall. Plop! Lin Yun, who had been observing the changes of the black dragon and the little golden dragon, heard a strange sound and immediately looked down. he saw that Gu Si, who was originally standing straight, had fallen to the ground. Her eyes were filled with shock, and her forehead was dripping with cold sweat. "Oomph, Xiao Yun, don't make me do this kind of thing in the future. It's like playing a monkey." Seeing Gu Si's current appearance, Long Ao glanced at her with disdain and instantly disappeared from the house. "Brat, even your father didn't do this to us back then. Remember, this is the first and last time. If there's no danger in the future, don't look for us." At this moment, the little golden dragon was just like Long Ao and coldly reprimanded Lin Yun before entering the cloud tower. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was being reprimanded by the two dragons, revealed an awkward expression. They were right. When he was born, they were already by Lin Rei's side. Therefore, according to seniority, they were all elders. At that, senior. Now you know what happened, right? Therefore, I must go to the celestial dragon mountain. As for you, if you want to go, I welcome you. If you don't want to go, I hope you won't dissuade me. At this moment, Gu Si, who had fallen to the ground due to the sudden appearance of the two dragons, had no reason to stop him. Lin Yun had two dragons by his side. Even if he really met a dragon in the celestial dragon mountain, it wouldn't be a big problem. "Yes, I won't stop you. Previously, I didn't know that you had two such existences. Now that I know, I support you. If you really go, you will be able to encounter extraordinary opportunities." Okay. Hearing Gu Si's nod of agreement, Lin Yun's face revealed a smile. He agreed with this matter very much. When he first saw the celestial dragon mountain, he had decided on that place. At this moment, Gu Si's face was flushed red. He sorted out his emotions in shame and immediately stood up from the ground. "Let's go. Since that's the case, let's hurry up and leave. If we stay here, those sects will definitely find clues." Lin Yun had already planned to leave immediately after hearing Gu Si's words. Therefore, he wasn't surprised by his words. "Okay, let's go." After the two finished discussing, Gu Si left a letter for the town head of the divine sect here and left with Lin Yun. The group came quickly and left quickly. When they arrived, they had left a deep impression on everyone. When they left, they were silent. However, the news of Lin Yun and the tens of thousands of disciples behind him had already been reported to their respective sects by the people guarding the starting ground. In the sky above the intersection of the eastern and central parts of the ghost realm, a Xiefeng covered in undying flames was like a meteor as it streaked across the sky and disappeared in an instant. Sitting on her back was a person. That person had his eyes closed and looked like he was meditating. "Hey, Lin Rei, how much longer do we need to reach the sacred mountain? We've been flying for so long." This person was none other than Lin Rei, who was piloting Xiefeng to the sacred mountain. The second person was naturally Xiefeng. I heard from passersby that we should be arriving soon. We should be at the intersection of the eastern and central parts. If I'm not wrong, with your current speed, we should be able to reach in a month. What? There's still a month. At this moment, the evil phoenix's brows were tightly furrowed as it unwillingly exclaimed. "Yes, that's right. Of course, you could be even faster. I know that you haven't used your full strength along the way. If you use your full strength, I estimate that you'll be several times faster than now. 10 days, at most 10 days, you should be able to reach the sacred mountain." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xiefeng's furrowed brows relaxed and then revealed an embarrassed expression. You know that I haven't used my full strength?" Xiefeng was very confident that Lin Rei wouldn't know that she hadn't used her full strength. But now, it seemed that she was too naive and conceited. Of course, if the Phoenix clan is really so weak, then you wouldn't be the first batch of creatures after the opening of the sky. So, I knew from the first day you flew. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xiefeng became even more embarrassed. She didn't expect Lin Rei to know so much. That's enough. It's my fault these few days. I'll use my full strength from now on." Whoosh! While speaking, Lin Rei could feel that Xiefeng was increasing her flying speed. "Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. The flying speed of the Phoenix clan isn't as little as what you said. During the prehistoric times, the Phoenix clan could fly tens of thousands of miles with a flap of their wings." After hearing Xie Feng's words, Lin Rei was taken aback and didn't say a word. After increasing her flying speed, Xie Feng's speed was indeed faster, and it wasn't just a little bit faster. The journey that was supposed to take 30 days was shortened to 10 days after Lin Rei exposed it. However, Lin Rei didn't expect that in order to prove the speed of the Phoenix clan, Xie Feng would shorten the journey from 10 days to 5 days. During these 5 days, Lin Rei cultivated continuously. At this moment, he didn't dare to waste any time, not only for himself, but also for the people he wanted to protect. However, during these 5 days, Xie Feng kept pestering him, saying that she wanted to see her son. Without a choice, on the 3rd day, Lin Rei had no choice but to stop and move Xie Feng out of the system so that Xie Feng could see her son to her heart's content. On the other hand, Feng Su didn't disappoint him. In the training field in the system, she absorbed the chaos aura, and her strength increased by several folds. Her cultivation base also improved immensely. Phoenixes were born with the strength of a grand unity, true immortal. During this period of time, Feng Su continuously received the inheritance and baptism of the chaos aura in the system. At this moment, Feng Su's cultivation base had reached the early stage of the immortal Lord realm. When Lin Li saw the change in Feng Su's strength, he was shocked. Feng Su's cultivation speed was simply too fast, to the point that even he himself felt somewhat inferior. However, what Lin Rei didn't know was that he wasn't the only one who was shocked. Xie Feng was even more shocked. Although she was confident in her son's talent, she didn't expect his cultivation base to improve so much in such a short period of time. At this moment, she felt that her decision to entrust Feng Su to Lin Rei was even more correct. After looking at Feng Su for a while, Lin Rei kept Feng Su back into the system. This time, Xie Feng didn't stop him. In the following days, Xie Feng flew even faster. Finally, on the 5th day, Lin Rei, who was piloting Xie Feng, finally arrived at the sacred mountain that he had been dreaming of. Huff! 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 At this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing at the foot of the sacred mountain, raised his head and looked at the peak of the sacred mountain. Suddenly, a chilly wind blew in his face, accompanied by the unpleasant smell of rotting corpses. Sensing the environment, Lin Rei began to doubt whether this was the sacred mountain. He even suspected that he had come to the wrong place. Let's go. Since we're already here, how will we know if it's real if we don't go up and take a look? At this moment, just as Lin Rei was doubting the mountain in front of him, the system's cold voice suddenly sounded. You're right. If we don't go up and take a look, how will we know if it's real or fake? Thinking of this, Lin Rei's eyes became determined. He nodded to Xie Feng and said, Let's go. Let's go up and take a look. Right now, the demonic phoenix was extremely respectful towards Lin Li, for no other reason than that. She only wanted to help her son improve his strength. Chapter 591. At this moment, Lin Rei wasn't riding on Xie Feng. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but just now, Xie Feng told him that there was a very powerful seal on the sacred mountain. Even she couldn't fly in the air. Lin Rei was filled with shock and curiosity, but also helplessness. He didn't know whether the sacred mountain was dangerous or not. At this moment, the chance to find his wife and son was right in front of him. He couldn't wait to grow wings and fly up, but now he had to walk. No one knew whether the sacred mountain was dangerous or not, let alone the 3 ghost kings. Sighing to himself, Lin Li could only walk up the mountain step by step with a helpless look on his face. The sacred mountain was very big. It wasn't comparable to an ordinary 10,000 meters high. Looking up from the foot of the mountain, it was simply towering into the sky. Lin Rei had a headache about this. All right, let's go. I'll accompany you. What else do you want? At this moment, Demonic Phoenix, by Lin Li's side, could sense the gloomy aura emanating from him. That's true. Lin Rei completely trusted Xie Feng. After all, her son was here with him. Therefore, Lin Rei wasn't afraid of her stirring up trouble. Ow. It had been a while since they entered the sacred mountain. The road was very quiet. Even the sounds of birds and beasts couldn't be heard. As the saying went, if something abnormal happened, there must be a demon. Just as Lin Ray was feeling suspicious, suddenly, a shocking roar of beasts came from the sky. The puzzled Lin Ray immediately became vigilant. He quickly operated the primal chaos scripture, and a simple spell appeared in his hand. He was ready to deal with any unexpected situation. Be careful. I can feel that the group of demonic beasts in front seems to be guarding something. They're very strong. The weakest is a divine ancestor, and the strongest is a late-stage god emperor. As for the others, I haven't sensed them yet. But after coming here, I have a feeling of unease. With regards to Xie Feng's strength, Lin Ray knew that he was far inferior to her. But now that he heard that there was something here that could affect her uneasiness, Lin Ray was completely on guard. If there was anything that could make Xie Feng feel uneasy, it would be easy for him to kill it. Can you feel what it is? No. Maybe I'm mistaken. Besides, I've been suppressed here for so many years. I still don't know what this world has become. Lin Ray didn't listen to Xie Feng's answer. Since he said that he was uneasy, there must be something here. Well, it's better to be careful. After all, if you often walk by the river, how can your shoes not be wet? It's always good to be more careful. All right, got it. Hearing Lin Ray's words, Xie Feng nodded heavily and then became vigilant. However, at this moment, the deeper Xie Feng went, the stronger the uneasiness in his heart. What's going on? What on earth is affecting my mind? Xie Feng was puzzled. His divine sense instantly reached out. It began to spread toward the top of the mountain. In the sage realm, the divine sense cultivated was already very powerful. It could even use the divine sense to sense the lower realm. Of course, there was still a limit to this. His divine sense explored the top of the mountain bit by bit. Everything that happened along the way appeared clearly in the evil phoenix's mind. Everything was going very smoothly. Suddenly, a huge and mysterious energy suddenly appeared. Xie Feng could feel the huge and terrifying power of this energy. This energy that suddenly appeared was like a barrier that blocked his divine sense and didn't let him continue to explore. This sudden appearance alerted Xie Feng. Regarding this, he knew that there was something on this holy mountain that he couldn't deal with. How can it be? How can there be such energy here? I'm already in the sage realm. Even if there are sages in the divine realm, they can't be stronger than me. But what's the situation now? What happened in the outside world during the years I was suppressed? Why did so many inconceivable things happen after I appeared? At this moment, Lin Ray naturally didn't know what Xie Feng was thinking. At this moment, Lin Ray only wanted to climb to the top of the mountain and then find the whereabouts of his wife and child with the power of the reincarnation mirror. That was all. TSK, should I tell him what happened to me just now? At this time, Xie Feng was very conflicted. She was conflicted about whether to tell Lin Ray what she had just encountered. Time passed little by little. Lin Ray led Xie Feng forward step by step, while Xie Feng, who was behind them, was conflicted all the way until now. Sigh, forget it, I'd better tell him. Although this will make me lose face, it's better than him dying and my son having no place to improve his strength. Thinking of this, Xie Feng quickly came to Lin Ray's side and stretched out her wings to block Lin Ray. Looking at Xie Feng, who suddenly appeared to block him, Lin Ray was very confused. But when he saw Xie Feng's frown, his heart suddenly sank. Then, a bad premonition crept into his heart. Did something happen? That's right. Hearing Lin Ray's question, Xie Feng did not hide anything and told him everything that she had just encountered. Just now, I used my divine sense to explore the situation at the top of the mountain. But who knew that when I was halfway up the mountain, a mysterious and frightening force suddenly appeared and directly blocked my divine sense, causing my divine sense to be unable to continue exploring. What? Is there something blocking your divine sense? Are you sure? Lin Ray was shocked by Xie Feng's words. He really could not figure out what kind of force could block Xie Feng, who had already entered the saint level. At the same time, he became even more nervous. He knew that this trip to the sacred mountain was definitely not going to be that easy. Originally, he thought that this trip to the sacred mountain would be much easier with Siefeng. Now, it seemed that was not the case. Sai, that's enough. Since I know that something can block you, then I have to be more careful and pay more attention. I know. Actually, I'm also very curious about what kind of thing can block my divine sense. Speaking of this, Siefeng's face revealed a hint of curiosity. He do as you see fit. Looking at Siefeng's current appearance, Lin Rei ignored her and continued to move forward. Awoo, awoo, awoo. However, the further they went, the louder the roars of the beasts became, and the louder the sound became. Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Rei released 15, who was stored in the system, and was about to fight the group of roaring beasts. With 15's help, the speed of moving forward would be faster. It's you, kid? 15's appearance also attracted Siefeng's attention. When she saw 15's appearance, Siefeng frowned. Wasn't this the Azura clan kid who had blocked her from being born? Hearing someone speak, 15 immediately turned to look at Siefeng. The moment 15 saw Siefeng, he stood rooted to the ground like a piece of wood, his eyes filled with disbelief. Lin Rei noticed the two of them, especially 15. 15 only had one side in front of him, and that was indifference. Apart from his icy face, he did not know anything else. At this moment, he saw 15 standing rooted to the ground like a wooden chicken. Lin Rei was very curious about this. You're from the Phoenix clan? At this moment, 15 was silent for a moment before he asked Evil Phoenix with a tone full of disbelief. That's right. I'm from the Phoenix clan, and I'm the clan leader of the Phoenix clan, Feng Huang. What, you're Feng Huang? 15 screamed in shock when he heard Siefeng's words, his eyes filled with disbelief. That's right. You know me? Even though she had met 15 before, 15 had never seen her before, which was why she didn't have such a reaction. But now that they met, her reaction was a little too big. Ha ha! All of a sudden, 15 burst into laughter. His voice was so loud that it could be heard from all directions. Lin Rei and Siefeng couldn't understand why 15 burst into laughter. Both of them turned to 15 dubiously. Ha ha! The laughter lasted for more than 10 minutes before 15 finally stopped. Then, he turned to Siefeng and said in a deep voice, "Of course I'm familiar with the Phoenix clan. Back then, I was the general by the patriarch side. During the Dragon Han calamity, not only did your 3 clans participate in the war, but my Azura clan also participated." What? Back then, you also, upon hearing 15's words, it was Siefeng's turn to be taken aback. At that moment, the memories of the Dragon Han calamity surfaced clearly in Siefeng's mind. The scenes from back then were still fresh in her mind. Not only were they painful memories, but they were also memories that she didn't want to recall the most. Back then, the Phoenix clan went to the Blood Sea to invite my patriarch to participate in the Dragon Han calamity. Back then, my Azura clan made it clear that we didn't wish to participate. But back then, Huang Tong used the blessings of the Phoenix clan and Phoenix clan as collateral to get my Azura clan to participate in the war. In the end, due to Huang Tong's pleading, my patriarch finally agreed. At that moment, Siefeng was deeply immersed in her memories while 15 continued his narration. On the other hand, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He had never heard 15 mention this before. In the end, my Azura clan participated in the war. But back then, Huang Tong allowed my Azura clan to be the vanguard, and hundreds of thousands of my Azura clan members died in an instant. If it weren't for my patriarch who used his foundation as a guarantee to save 36 of us, perhaps my Azura clan would have been wiped out. Chapter 592. I'm sorry. At this moment, 15 had finished her story, and Siefeng seemed to have returned to reality from her memories. At this moment, Siefeng's gaze towards 15 was no longer filled with disdain. Instead, it was filled with apologies. Although the phoenix race wasn't the phoenix race, phoenixes had never left home since ancient times. Therefore, the phoenix race's matter was the phoenix race's matter. Looking at Xie Feng's apologetic expression, 15 remained silent, and her eyes revealed a conflicted expression. Aya, are you all right? At this moment, Lin Ray understood what was going on after hearing 15's words. He didn't want the two of them to be in such a state and jumped out immediately. Upon hearing Lin Ray's words, Xie Feng and 15 looked at Lin Ray dubiously. Lin Ray wasn't afraid of their gazes at all. Then he voiced out his thoughts. You guys are really... How many years has it been? Even though it's still the prehistoric era, the root of this matter is a tribulation and it's inevitable. Look at the two of you. 15 and Xie Feng squeezed out a smile in response to Lin Ray's words. However, they didn't think that Lin Ray's words were unreasonable. After all, this matter wasn't their fault. Besides, it had been so many years. Even if there was a huge grudge between them, they should be indifferent to it. However, Linley knew that this matter couldn't be resolved overnight. Therefore, after he finished speaking, he didn't pay any more attention to the two of them. Instead, he took the initiative to retreat to the side and wait quietly. At this moment, the two of them looked at each other. The pain and conflict from before had lessened somewhat. Perhaps Linley didn't know that his words had caused a knot of hatred between the two of them to slowly unravel. Roar, roar. While the two of them remained silent, the roars of beasts were getting closer and closer. The ground shook and the trees trembled. What happened? Lin Ray's first reaction was to take out his Chaos Dragon Spear. 9 dragons appeared above Lin Ray's head. The roar of every dragon's soul could shake the heavens. What? 9 azure dragons? This kid. Ignoring the roars of the beasts and the shaking of the earth, Xie Feng's gaze fell upon the 9 azure dragons above Lin Ray's head the moment the dragon roars appeared. At this moment, Xie Feng's face was filled with shock and disbelief. She had never imagined that someone who possessed the Shura clan would also possess 9 dragon souls. Furthermore, she could sense that the 9 dragon souls were of a higher level than her when they were alive. How is this possible? However, Lin Ray naturally wouldn't answer Xie Feng's doubts. It wasn't that he didn't want to. Instead, it was because there was a horde of over 10,000 beasts charging towards them. F***CK. Why are there so many of them? Lin Fan stared at the beasts. Lin Ray was dumbfounded. He had seen a horde of beasts before. However, the horde of beasts that Lin Ray had seen started from high to low. Right now, the horde of beasts that Lin Ray saw were all Emperor God beasts. F***CKU. Are you kidding me? Lin Ray couldn't care less about anything else. He turned around and shouted to 15 and Xie Feng, Kill. Kill anyone who stands in my way. Xie Feng frowned, and her heart skipped a beat. She looked down at the horde of beasts. Even though they weren't a threat to her, she couldn't kill all of them. Whoosh! A figure dashed towards the horde of beasts the moment Lin Ray finished his sentence. Xie Feng looked up and saw 15 holding the heavenly halberd. He had already reached the center of the horde of beasts. The heavenly halberd in his hand seemed to have come to life and became the perfect weapon to kill. Even though 15 was only a late-stage monarch god, he was still a survivor of the Eldritch era. He could still deal with the horde of beasts in front of him. Everywhere 15 went, there were mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The corpses were piled up into mountains. The scene was like hell. It was extremely cruel. All right, I'm coming too. As he watched 15 fight, Linley, who was standing outside the battle circle, felt his fighting spirits soar to a peak. The blood in his body began to boil. Looking at the murderous 15, Linley could no longer care about anything else. Although he was blind, he could still use his divine sense. His divine sense was like his eyes. With a swoosh, Linley moved as well. The primal Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand erupted with an astonishing spear intent. As for the 9 azure dragons above Linley's head, as soon as Linley moved, they charged into the battlefield and began to slaughter. Hiss! The demonic phoenix, who hadn't joined the battle yet, was stunned on the spot when he saw Linley and 15 kill so decisively. He sucked in a breath of cold air. She couldn't use words to describe what Lin Ray and 15 were seeing. Even though she had experienced life and death battles before, she hadn't seen such a scene in a long time. Oh, woo, oh. The roars of beasts resounded throughout the world, accompanied by the screams of death. After all, they were all monstrous beasts of the Emperor God level. They had long gained intelligence and could speak human language. Hunting this venerable one. Today, this venerable one will let you know what killing is, what death is. Lin Ray seemed to be in a killing frenzy. The Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand couldn't stop. He was already an early God Emperor, so he wasn't afraid of cultivators or monstrous beasts of the same level. Furthermore, there was the 9-headed dragon above his head. Lin Ray was relieved. He knew that if he couldn't pass this stage, he wouldn't be able to find his wife and son using the reincarnation mirror. Xie Feng's mouth twitched when she saw Lin Ray, who was in a killing frenzy. She didn't stay idle. After all, her son was still with Lin Ray. Instantly, the demonic phoenix moved. Right now, she was still in her demonic form, which puzzled Linley. Logically speaking, at her level, she should have assumed human form long ago, but she was still in her demonic form. Xie Feng came to the center of the beast tide with her undying flame. She wasn't afraid of these monstrous beasts since she was in the Saint Realm. Pong! Pong! Xie Feng flapped her wings casually, and the monstrous beasts around her were blown away. Ha! Lin Ray didn't say anything when he felt Xie Feng's action. He didn't stop the Chaos Dragon Spear in his hand. He smiled. Thus, the three of them were not to be trifled with. As Linley and the other two continued their slaughter, the beast tide grew smaller and smaller. In the end, when there were only 100 left, Linley stopped his slaughter. Phew! Lin Ray heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the monstrous beasts around him. His face relaxed. How was it? Did you have fun killing them? Now that he was free, Linley asked 15, who had been the first to charge forward. Yes, it was okay, but it was a little small. Lin Ray didn't know how to continue 15's words. Xie Feng also heard 15's words, but she didn't have anything to say. All right, Xie Feng, I'll leave them for you to deal with. 15, and I will go ahead first. Hearing Linley's orders, the demonic phoenix didn't feel any revulsion at all. It nodded and said, all right, you can go. Hearing this, Chen Dan ignored him and walked forward with 15. Roar, roar. After a few moments, Lin Ray heard the monstrous beasts roaring in pain from behind. Chen Dan revealed a smile. 15, do you still hate her? He didn't want to keep this matter bottled up in 15's heart because it wouldn't do him any good. Who knew if it would cause him to have inner demons? I don't know. 15 wasn't surprised by Lin Ray's question. After all, they had known each other for so many years, and he knew Lin Ray's temperament. When Lin Ray said that he wanted to go ahead, he knew that Lin Ray would ask this question. Sigh. If revenge breeds revenge, will there ever be an end to it? Although this saying is a little nonsensical, it has been so many years and you still haven't let it go. I'm really afraid that you will have inner demons because of this matter. Hearing this, 15 fell silent. Lin Ray didn't say anything. Perhaps his words would have some effect on 15, but he didn't want to affect 15's judgment because of his words. Time passed slowly as the two of them walked forward. After an unknown amount of time, 15, who had been silent for a long time, finally opened his mouth. Young master, I don't hate her anymore. When he said this, 15's expression was carefree and relaxed. Although Linley couldn't see, he could still hear the emotions in 15's voice. Okay, 15. Lin Ray was happy for 15. After all, 15 was his brother. How could he not be happy that his brother had resolved the knot in his heart? Then he took out the wine that he kept in his ring and handed it to 15. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Then they raised their heads and began to gulp down the wine. Suddenly, a spicy feeling flowed through their throats, accompanied by the smell of wine. What are you guys doing? Just as Lin Ray was drinking happily because 15 had resolved the knot in his heart, Xiefeng's voice came from afar. Xiefeng's arrival was accompanied by the smell of blood. He eats nothing. 15 said that he's writing off the previous grudge. What? Really? Xiefeng was stunned by Lin Rei's words. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. That's right. I don't hate anymore. Since so many years have passed, I've hated for so many years. That's enough. I'm tired. I don't want to tire myself because of that so-called hatred. Chapter 593. Looking at the two of them, Linley couldn't help but laugh. He laughed very happily. This was exactly what he wanted to see. All right. Since the hatred has been resolved, then let's not talk about this anymore. As he spoke, Lin Rei hurriedly took out a jar of wine from his ring and handed it to Xiefeng for them to drink together. Xiefeng, did not refuse Lin Rei's actions. Taking the wine jar, Xiefeng's eyes were filled with gratitude. Just like that, the three of them continued on their way after drinking. Along the way, the three of them were no longer as awkward as before. They chatted and laughed as they walked up the mountain. Of course, although they had experienced a beast tide before, they knew that it was impossible for there to be only a little danger along the way. They were already prepared to endure even more danger. North, Wu State. In the Wu State's Tianqing County, a young man with a jade flute in his hand was extremely handsome. The young man, dressed in a Confucian robe, always had a gentle smile on his face, giving off a very amiable feeling. "Sai, my lord, where are you? Do you know how hard I've been looking for you?" This person was none other than Sakura, who had come out to look for his main body, Lin Rei, because of the purple bloodline incident. Ever since he found out about the appearance of the Ninth Continent in the restaurant that day, and saw the cultivators of the Ninth Continent appear in the 8 continents, and because his main body was a person who liked to join in the fun, he had the idea of entering the Ninth Continent. The Ninth Continent was considered one of the biggest forbidden areas in the God Realm, and the most mysterious Ninth Continent was connected to none other than the northern Wu State of the 9 continents. Because of this, Sakura hurried through the night and arrived at the Wu State's Tianqing County without stopping. During this period of time, he passed by several continents and discovered that there were many cultivators who were not from the 8 continents. Sakura had already guessed that those forces that he did not recognize were all from the 9th continent. Moreover, along the way, there were also some cultivators from the 9th continent who did not care about their lives and were tempted by the wealth. There were also many who had crooked thoughts about Sakura, but in the end, they could only blame themselves for being unlucky. In the end, the consequences of robbing Sakura could only disappear from this world. "TSK, where are you going?" Although he knew that Wu State was at the border of the 9th continent, he did not know its exact location. Therefore, after he arrived at Wu State, he became a headless fly and began to wander around Wu State. At this moment, Sakura could be said to be going wherever he went. He also didn't know where he was going. The Azura clan that he had sent to find Lin Rei had not been in contact for a long time. Alas! Looking at the crowded streets of Tianqing County, Indra's eyes were filled with confusion. "Young Master D.I., I feel the aura of 21. Just as Sakura was at a loss, one of the 6 Azura clan members behind him hurriedly came forward and whispered in his ear. 21? Who is it?" He didn't know about 21, but if Lin Rei heard him, he would immediately think that 21 was one of the 36 Shura clansmen. Similarly, 21 was also the one he had left behind in the immortal world. Back then, in order to let him send people back to the Sect, he did not bring him along. Seeing Sakura's confusion, that person promptly explained, 21 is the person that young Master left behind in the immortal realm back then. Now that I'm sensing 21, it's very likely that young Master has already arrived at the divine realm. What? Hearing the words of the messenger, Sakura was stunned on the spot. He naturally had some impression of the little young Master. When he was created by his original body, he also inherited some memories of his original body. So when he heard the words little young Master, he immediately thought of Lin Yin. Thinking of this, Sakura immediately asked with an anxious expression, Then can you feel where 21 is? Little Yin and the others are here. I don't know how strong they are now. If you can feel it, then let's meet up with them first. This way, I can protect him. No. Ah. Seeing his decisive answer, Sakura's expression became disappointed. However, although I can't contact them, I can feel 21's aura and find where he is. Hearing his words, Sakura was stunned. Sakura was very unhappy with his big breath just now. However, there was nothing he could do. After all, these people were given to him by his original body. He couldn't do anything about it. Moreover, what made it even more difficult was that the Shura's strength was too strong. Even if he was Lin Rei's clone, he might not be a match for him. He calmed down the unhappiness in his heart. Then, with a calm expression, he ordered, "If that's the case, then hurry up and find him. Remember, the faster the better." Yes. Hearing that, the Shura nodded his head in agreement and walked forward. Indra didn't say anything about his actions and quickly followed him. At this moment, in an inn, Lin Yun, who was being looked for by Sakura, was sitting in a restaurant with Gu Si, 21, and some other people to have a meal. Reporting to Sect Master, "I feel 18's aura." Similar to Sakura's situation just now, the only Shura was eating when a feeling that made his blood tremble suddenly appeared. Then, without saying anything, he stood up and whispered in Lin Yun's ear, "Oh, can you feel where he is?" He knew about 18. He had seen all 36 Shura clan members, so when he heard about 18, the first thing he thought was that if he could find 18, then finding his father, Lin Rei, wouldn't be a dream anymore. Yes, I can feel it. Moreover, 21 seems to be coming to our place at this moment. Although he's not fast, I can feel it. Really? Hearing 21's words, Lin Yun was excited. If what 21 said was true, then he would be able to see his father, Lin Rei, soon. Suddenly, the excited Lin Yun didn't hide the joy in his heart. What's wrong? At this moment, Gu Si, who was sitting at the side, felt Lin Yun's abnormality and immediately asked him. Her eyes were filled with deep concern. In nothing. It's just that today's luck is better." Hearing this, Gu Si was even more confused. When Lin Yun knew that Gu Si might not understand, he immediately explained, "Just now, 21 sensed the aura of someone from the same clan as him, and this person is following by father's side." "What? Lin Rei? How is that possible? He was in the 5th level of the Death Canyon back then. Moreover, he seemed to have something urgent at that time. Why would he appear here now?" Hearing Gu Si's words, Lin Yun frowned and was obviously a little unhappy. However, seeing that she was a senior, Lin Yun didn't take it to heart. At this moment, Gu Si also felt Lin Yun's expression and immediately knew that she had lost her composure. Then, she fell silent. Go and welcome him." "Yes, Sect Master." Hearing Lin Yun's words, 21 immediately rushed out of the restaurant and rushed in the direction of 18's aura. At the same time, 18, who was beside Sakura, also felt 21's rapid approach and immediately reported to Sakura. Then, the group sped up and converged with 21. Although they were all in the Sky City County, the Sky City County was very big. If it weren't for the Azura clan's people who were very sensitive to their own clansmen, they probably wouldn't have known that they were so close. However, although they could feel each other's aura, the two sides were very far apart. Time slowly passed, and the two sides quickly traveled. After half a day's journey, they finally gathered at the entrance of a tea house. Young master? At this moment, the moment 21 and Sakura met, 21 didn't dare to be sure when he saw Sakura. However, the moment the word young master came out of 21's mouth, his expression instantly changed. Then, he retreated with a gloomy expression and a vigilant look appeared on his face. "Speak, who are you? Why do you have the same face as my master? Moreover, 18, why are you with him?" "Ha ha!" Seeing 21 so vigilant, 18's unchanging ice face finally showed a trace of a face. And Sakura was so cautious when he saw 21. The moment he saw him, he recognized that he wasn't the original body. He admired this kind of person very much. Sometimes, even he himself couldn't tell whether he was the original body or the clone, but he didn't expect 21 to be so sure that he wasn't the original body Lin Rei. Haha, You don't have to be confused. The original body is Lin Ray's clone, and 18, they were all given to the original body by Lin Ray to protect the original body. Hearing this, 21 immediately looked at 18 and the others beside him. Well, young Master D is right. He is indeed the clone of the young master. And we're just like what young Master D said. The young master asked us to protect him. Hearing this, 21 understood and immediately withdrew the spell that he was about to bombard. But he didn't let down his vigilance. He then told them about his mission this time. Young Master D, I was ordered by the young master to come and welcome you. Why don't we go now? 18, who heard this, looked at Sakura beside her and asked for instructions. Let's go and see Xiao Yun as soon as possible. Hearing this, both sides reached an agreement, and then 21 led the way and rushed to the north. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was waiting in the restaurant, didn't care anymore. He wanted to see his father immediately. Gu Si, who was beside him, still had a dumbfounded look on her face. Time passed little by little, and another half a day passed. Just as Lin Yun was waiting anxiously, suddenly, a familiar yet unfamiliar aura appeared. Father. Chapter 594. Lin Yun, who had been waiting for a long time, felt this familiar yet strange aura. He didn't even think that the owner of this aura was his father, Lin Ray. Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Yun released his cultivation and his body instantly disappeared from the restaurant. When Lin Yun reappeared, he was on the street outside the restaurant. Looking up at the sky, looking in the direction of the aura, he saw a group of people rushing in his direction. Father. When Lin Yun saw Sakura at the front, he didn't even think about it, and thought that this person was his father, Linley. At this moment, Sakura in the air. When he heard a young man on the street looking at him and calling him father, his heart trembled. Of course, Sakura also knew that this person was Lin Yun, the son of his original body. The moment he saw Lin Yun, Sakura instantly released his cultivation. A moment ago, he was still 1,000 miles away, and the next moment, he was in front of Lin Yun. Lin Yun, who had been staring at Sakura, saw the strength that Sakura released at this moment. He sucked in a mouthful of cold air, and his eyes were filled with shock. This strength, without thinking much, when he saw Sakura in front of him, Lin Yun directly knelt on the ground without saying a word and said in an excited tone, "This child greets father." Lin Yun's action made the Shura clansmen behind Sakura and Gu Si, who had already left the restaurant, feel helpless. At this moment, Gu Si, who was standing at the entrance of the restaurant, saw Sakura at first glance. Although this person was very similar to Lin Ray, he wasn't Lin Ray. Not only the clothes they wore, but more importantly, the temperament they had was different. Although the two looked very similar, Gu Si confirmed at first glance that this person was indeed 100% not Lin Ray. However, he didn't expect that Lin Yun, who was Lin Ray's son, didn't know his father. Not only him, but even the Shura clansmen standing behind Sakura were like this. They didn't expect such a scene. Why didn't you get up first? I'm not your father. At this moment, Sakura looked at Lin Yun, who was kneeling in front of him, and said with an awkward expression. Although he was Lin Ray's clone, he had his own thoughts. Therefore, at this moment, he could be considered a living person. Ugh! At this moment, Lin Yun, who was filled with joy, paused when he heard Sakura's words. He raised his head with difficulty and looked at Sakura with doubt. Seeing Lin Yun's doubtful expression, Sakura helplessly smiled and said, "Indeed, I'm not your father, Lin Ray. I'm only his avatar. My real name is Sakura." Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Ray slowly realized that although the person standing in front of him had the same face and figure as his father, his temperament was completely different from his father, Lin Ray. His father's aura, no matter where he was, would always be emitting a trace of cold, killing intent. But the person standing in front of him had a refined aura. Although he was holding the sword within the flute, Lin Yun woke up from his stupor and immediately stood up. Zero, of course. Awkwardness was unavoidable, but he didn't feel that he was at a disadvantage. After all, this person was separated from his father's body. Calling him father was also considered worthy. At this moment, the scene suddenly became calm. No one spoke. At this moment, Lin Yun stood up and wanted to chat with this avatar who looked very similar to his father. But when he wanted to speak, he didn't know how to address him. "Call me Sakura." As if he knew Lin Yun's dilemma, Sakura quickly said to him, "Huh." Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Yun smiled and bowed respectfully. "Greetings, venerable emperor." "Yes, yes." Looking at Lin Yun, Sakura didn't know why, but the blood in his body flowed faster at this moment. His heartbeat also became nervous. "Let's go in and have a seat." Looking at the calm scene, Indra hurriedly called out to the Azura clansmen behind Lin Yun. Yes. Just like this, the group entered the restaurant and found a place to sit down. As for the 7 Shura, they were arranged to sit at the table next to them by Sakura. After finishing all of this, Indra noticed that there was a pair of puzzled eyes staring at him the moment he entered the door. In response, after finishing all of this, he looked over and spoke. "Fellow Taoist, do you know what's on my face?" No. Gu Si, who was asked, felt awkward for a moment. He had just heard that Sakura was Lin Li's doppelganger. However, he was very curious as to why this doppelganger was so awesome. Just the doppelganger's cultivation alone was much stronger than him. "Oh, is that so? Then how should I address you, fellow Taoist? Seeing that your cultivation is in the late stage of divine ancestor, I wonder if you're from Sect, family, or the 9th continent." As for Gu Si, Dishir Tion still had to investigate her. After all, there was such a powerful existence in Lin Yun's group. He definitely wouldn't foolishly think that this person had followed them from the immortal world. After all, he had just investigated Lin Yun's strength. He was only in the middle stage of the true God realm. At most, he had just entered the divine realm. Therefore, he couldn't help but be vigilant about Lin Yun's danger. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was sitting at the side, saw the doubt and killing intent in Sakura's eyes. He immediately stepped forward and explained, "Overlord, this is my father's friend. He's from the divine sect. His name is Gu Si." Oh, Sakura didn't say anything after hearing Lin Yun's words. He knew the name Gu Si. He had heard Lin Ray mention it before. "Oh, right. What are you doing here? The 9th continent has appeared, and it's very chaotic here." With regards to Sakura's question, Lin Yun had absolute trust in him, so he immediately spoke of his plan. 10 minutes later, "Oh, so you want to establish a sect here? The disciples of the Xuanzong sect should all be in the Cloud Pagoda right now, right?" "Hehe, that's right. The Sovereign Venerable is indeed my father's clone. He knows everything about my father. You're right. When I advanced to the immortal Venerable realm, almost everyone in the sect had reached the immortal Sovereign realm, but they wanted to follow me. That's why they were unwilling to advance to the immortal Venerable realm." "Oh, so?" Sakura frowned when he heard Lin Yun's words. He really didn't want to hear this news. After all, the disciples were the foundation of the sect. He believed that if Lin Ray heard this, he would have the same thought. "Sai, forget it. I'll think of a way to make up for it when this overlord returns." Thinking of this, Sakura had nothing to do, so he said to Lin Yun, "Go ahead and get busy. Anyway, I have nothing to do, so I'll go with you. It just so happens that you have just arrived in the divine realm, and you will need help to establish your sect. I can also take this opportunity to protect you." Lin Yun was pleasantly surprised by this news. At the same time, he found it hard to believe. He never expected Sakura to help him establish a sect. But since he said so, why would Lin Yun be polite? "In that case, I'll have to thank you, Overlord." Speaking of this, Lin Yun's face was full of smiles, and then he told his detailed plan to Sakura. While they were thinking about how to establish a sect on the other side, they were going through a life-and-death battle. Halfway up the Ghost Realm's sacred mountain, a group of peak Emperor God-level demonic beasts were fighting with Lin Ray and the other two. You're all courting death. So many Emperor God-level demonic beasts have already died in my hands, and you're still so fearless. Since that's the case, don't blame this overlord. Lin Ray was helpless as he looked at the demonic beasts in front of him. He had been in the Sacred Mountain for a long time. Basically, he would be attacked by a wave of Emperor God-level demonic beasts every once in a while. During this period, Lin Ray didn't feel tired at all. Instead, he became more excited as he killed. During this period, his cultivation base was also increasing crazily because of the battles. Martial God's Stratagem. At this moment, the chaotic dragon spear was erected in the air. Martial God's Stratagem was activated, and the surrounding air began to compress rapidly. Hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of spear shadows appeared in an instant and rushed toward the demonic beasts. Martial God's Stratagem was a large-scale attack spell. Hence, it was perfect for this kind of demonic beasts. Martial God's Stratagem was activated, and tens of thousands of spear shadows appeared above the demonic beasts in an instant. They started to fall from the sky like arrows. Bam! 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 The spear shadows fell rapidly like rivets at this moment and pinned the demonic beast to the ground. Although it wasn't 100% successful, it was still 60% to 70% successful. Moreover, Martial God's Stratagem had the ability to compress space. Hence, the moment Martial God activated his stratagem, all the demonic beasts within Lin Ray's attack range could only lie on the ground obediently and wait for death to come. It wasn't that they were willing to do so. It was because Martial God's Stratagem had compressed space and they couldn't move at all. Hence, they could only watch as they were killed. The battle ended very quickly. Lin Ray alone had killed 2/3 of the demonic beasts. Haha, kid, you're really something. You're so fierce alone. It seems that when you reach my level, I'll be beaten by you. At this time, CF Foam, who had finished her battle, was covered in blood. In addition to her blood-red feathers, she looked very beautiful. Haha, we'll talk about it when time comes. Anyway, it's still early. Let's talk about it when I've broken through to the ultimate god level. 15, who had also finished his battle, stood obediently behind Lin Ray while the two were talking. Looking at the scene of corpses and blood, Lin Ray was used to it after his trip to the Sacred Mountain. Chapter 595. In front of us is the place where my divine sense was blocked before. It's lucky that we passed it. If we can't pass it, then, hearing the words of the demonic phoenix, Linley frowned, a nervous look on his face. If what the demonic phoenix said was true, it would be really troublesome. However, how would know if he didn't try? Moreover, Lin Ray had a premonition at this moment. He could go up. All right, since that's the case, let's go up and take a look. No matter what, I'm going up the Sacred Mountain today. No one can stop me, not even the 3 great ghost kings. At this moment, Lin Ray's words were filled with fierce, murderous intent. CF and 15 nodded in agreement. Looking at the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood on the ground, Lin Ray didn't stay any longer. He immediately led CF up the mountain. Lin Ray was very close to the place where CF divine sense was blocked. After walking for a few minutes, the group arrived at the place where the divine sense was blocked. Boy, stop. The place in front of us is blocking my divine sense. Lin Ray, who was walking forward, frowned when he heard CF words. He stopped and looked ahead awkwardly. Young master, why don't I go ahead and see if the barrier that CF mentioned is useful for me? If there's no danger, why don't you go ahead? Seeing 15 stand up and say this to him, Lin Ray frowned even more. He didn't know if there was any danger ahead. Moreover, CF said that even he wasn't confident. 15 was only in the monarch god realm. If something really happened to him, what would he do? Lin Ray was very hesitant about this. He didn't want 15 to take this risk, but at the same time, he wanted to know if there was any danger ahead. Lin Ray was in a dilemma. As the saying goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, Lin Ray's situation was the textbook of this saying. 15, who was standing in front of Lin Ray, saw that Lin Ray hadn't said anything for a long time. He raised his head and saw that Lin Ray had a conflicted look in his eyes. 15 was very grateful for this. Alas, Looking at Lin Ray's appearance, 15 sighed. Without waiting for Lin Ray's response, he turned around and rushed towards the barrier. 15. Lin Ray, who was silent and conflicted, felt 15's aura become restless. He immediately looked up and saw 15 rushing towards the barrier. Immediately, Lin Ray wanted to stop him and screamed. However, it was clearly too late. 15 was very fast, and it was too late to stop him now. As for the demonic phoenix, who had been watching this all this time, she was extremely curious about Linley. However, she didn't say it out loud. At this moment, it would undoubtedly be courting death. At this moment, Lin Ray's eyes were fixed on 15's figure in front of him. His eyes were filled with worry, and his hands were clenched tightly together. Alas! Linley couldn't help but sigh, a look of disappointment appearing on his face. He didn't expect 15 to be so stubborn and determined to do all this for him. Just as Lin Ray couldn't stand it anymore and closed his eyes, Siefeng, who was standing beside him, exclaimed softly. Then Lin Ray, who had closed his eyes, opened his eyes again and looked ahead. At that moment, 15 was standing in the distance, completely unscathed. Furthermore, he was smiling and waving at them. How is this possible? Clearly, at this moment, Siefeng was dumbfounded. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. She couldn't believe that the force that blocked her just now had disappeared. Ha ha. At this moment, he didn't pay attention to the evil phoenix. After seeing that 15 was fine, Linley, who was on tenterhooks, laughed out loud. When no one was paying attention, tears flowed down from the corners of his eyes. Lin Ray, who felt the tears, quickly wiped them away when no one was looking, and quickly recovered his emotions. Let's go. As long as you're fine, as long as you're fine. Seeing that 15 was safe and sound, Lin Ray said to Siefeng, who was beside him. Then, he activated the dragon subduing step. Instantly, 5 azure dragons appeared under Lin Ray's feet and rushed toward 15. They were so fast that Siefeng didn't notice that Lin Ray had disappeared from her side. Looking at the happy Lin Ray, Siefeng shook her head helplessly. Then, she spread her wings and followed Lin Ray. After returning to 15 years ago, Lin Ray, who had landed, the smile on his face disappeared instantly and was replaced by a look of displeasure. I know I was wrong, young master. 15, who had been observing Lin Ray's emotions, quickly bowed and apologized after seeing Lin Ray's current expression. At this moment, Siefeng also came to Lin Ray's side. Seeing Lin Ray and 15's situation, as an old thing who had lived for hundreds of millions of years, how could she not see Lin Ray's current state of mind? She didn't step forward and just watched Lin Ray and 15 quietly. You're wrong. You still know? I didn't ask you to go, and you went. It seems that my words really don't work. Hearing this, 15 knelt on the ground with a plop and looked at Lin Ray with a look of apology. He had already said that there was no need for 15 to kneel. But now, seeing 15 kneel, the anger in Linley's heart burned even stronger. However, when he thought of what 15 had done just now, he immediately suppressed the anger that rose in his heart. Get up. He looked at 15. The anger on his face disappeared and was replaced by a helpless look. He stepped forward and helped 15 up. Yes. 15, who was helped up by Lin Ray, still lowered his head as if he had made a mistake. Looking at this, Lin Ray was really helpless. Then, he said, "Today's matter is your fault. You didn't even know if there was danger ahead, and you went ahead. As my bodyguard, if you die, who can I find a reason with?" What? Looking at 15's stunned expression, Lin Ray didn't want to say anything more. Then, he instructed him, "Let's forget about this matter. But you have to remember that I have the final say in your life. So, before I die, you can't die." Of course, although the words were a little harsh, after 15 heard Lin Ray's words, his eyes were filled with gratitude and his heart was filled with warmth. You guys. Sometimes, I really don't know if you're master and servant or brother and family. Seeing that Siefeng was fine, He stepped forward and teased the two of them. We're comrades in arms and brothers. Although we're not family, we're not family. Young master, hearing Lin Ray's words, 15 was completely shocked and affected. Although he had heard this sentence before, he had never taken it seriously. But now, he took it seriously. Okay, there's no need to say anymore. Let's go. Lin Ray, who couldn't stand 15's grateful eyes, quickly interrupted everyone's thoughts and rushed forward. Now that they were halfway up the mountain, Lin Ray was determined to get to the top. He wanted to get there as soon as possible. Haha, let's go. Your master is really a weirdo, but he's a good person. Although he's decisive and always has a cold face, he's very good to the people around him. You're lucky to be with him. Seeing Lin Ray leave, Xie Feng said to 15. Then, she spread her wings and chased after Lin Ray. Yes, I think so too. He agreed with what Xie Feng said just now. So, at this moment, he swore that he would never let Lin Ray encounter a desperate situation in the future. Even if he died, he would die in front of Lin Ray. Whoosh 15 didn't stay any longer. He turned into a stream of light and rushed to the top of the mountain. Previously, because of the monsters on the way, he must have wasted a lot of time. So, in the following journey, because the spiritual energy in his body was consumed, he didn't stop cultivating. He used pills to replenish his spiritual energy. Just like that, he kept moving forward. Although there were many setbacks on the way, to Xie Feng, who had the Sage Realm beside her, it was a piece of cake to solve them. Moreover, during this period, Lin Ray cultivated from the early God Emperor realm to the middle God Emperor realm. Lin Ray, who had broken through, had a headache about the difficulty of breaking through, but he had no choice. Who asked him to have so many spiritual roots in his body? There were pros and cons. Heaven was fair. Of course, this was in the eyes of others, but it was different for Lin Ray. After all, he had the system as his backing. 30 years later, time flew by like a white steed. It came and went in a hurry. There were no traces at all. In the blink of an eye, 30 years had passed. At the top of the sacred mountain, two people and a fiery red big bird finally reached the top of the mountain. At this moment, the two people and the big bird were full of smiles, especially one of the young men. At this moment, he was so excited that he was crying. Ha ha! Lin Ray, have finally reached the sacred mountain. Linger, wait for me. Wait for your husband. Your husband will know where you are soon. Wait for me. The two people and the bird were none other than Lin Ray, 15, and Xie Feng. After so many years, he really didn't expect that climbing the sacred mountain would take so many years. Although Lin Ray was hesitant before, the moment he reached the top of the mountain, all the previous unhappiness disappeared at this moment. Congratulations, young master. You will be able to see a young lady soon. At this moment, 15, who was standing to the side, was very excited for Linley. Good. Hearing 15's words, Lin Ray was very happy, especially at this moment. He had never been so happy in so many years. Who dares to behave atrociously in my sacred mountain? Don't you know that this is the place where we, the three ghost kings, enter closed-door cultivation? Which tribe are you from? Tell me your names. Suddenly, just as Lin Ray was feeling excited, a sharp roar was heard. It came from afar. The voice was so loud that Lin Ray, who had become a middle god emperor, couldn't bear it and covered his ears. Amen. This sudden scene caused Linley's gaze to turn towards the source of the sound, his eyes blazing with desire. Chapter 596. Three Great Ghost Kings. Lin Ray's eyes were filled with vigilance when he heard the powerful voice introducing himself. At this moment, his body automatically released the defense of a divine artifact. The Chaos Dragon Spear appeared in Lin Ray's hand the moment the voice sounded, and he gripped it tightly. As for the pain in his ears, he directly shut off his four senses when he felt the terrifying energy, leaving only his divine consciousness. Don't worry, leave the three great ghost kings to me. Hurry up and find the reincarnation mirror you need. At this moment, Xie Feng's voice directly transmitted to Lin Ray's mind. Hearing her words, Lin Ray turned around and nodded at her before retreating. According to rumors, the three great ghost kings had already entered the Sage-to-Be realm and were only a step away from the true saint realm. Xiefeng had been in the holy world for a long time. As for Xiefeng's specific level, he did not know. As a cultivator who had not even reached the godly venerable realm, he was not qualified to participate in this kind of battle between Sage-to-Be saints. He retreated to the side with 15 and released his divine consciousness to observe Xiefeng's movements. Although he could not see, Lin Ray's divine consciousness and mind power were very powerful for cultivating formations and refining pills. Therefore, he could still observe their battle with his divine consciousness. "Young master, why don't I go up and help?" When Linley heard the words coming from behind him, he turned around speechlessly and rolled his eyes at 15. "Are you stupid? The three great ghost kings are all Sage-to-Be, and Xiefeng is at the Sage realm. What about you? You're only at the peak of the godly monarch realm. Tell me, if you participate in the battle, I don't think I need to say more about the final result." 15 fell silent when he heard this. "Yes, they're all saints, and I'm only a godly monarch realm." Looking at 15's sudden silence, Lin Ray frowned, thinking that he had said something wrong. He quickly explained, "I'm not." "You're right, young master. I can't defeat them with my current strength. However, I'll break through the seal as soon as possible and return to my peak. Then I'll begin to cultivate and break through the saint realm. I'll strive to have enough strength to protect you as soon as possible." Ugh! Hearing 15's interruption, Lin Ray's body froze and a happy expression appeared on his face. Lin Ray was very supportive of 15's words. Good. As long as you're happy," Lin Ray said. On the other side, there were only Lin Ray's group of 3 on the top of the mountain. However, as Lin Ray spoke to 15, 3 handsome middle-aged men appeared before Xiefeng. However, even though the 3 middle-aged men were handsome, their faces were gloomy and the aura they exuded was filled with murderous intent. At that moment, they were glaring at Xiefeng as though they were going to kill her. "Umph. Are you the ones who came to disturb our cultivation? Do you know that you will have to pay a painful price for disturbing the cultivation of the 3 of us?" "Yes. How bold of you to tell us your tribe's name. Tell us what you're here for, and perhaps we'll give you a chance to leave your corpses intact." Lin Ray, who was conversing with 15, released his consciousness the moment he heard these unfamiliar voices. He immediately scanned the 3 ghost kings. "Umph. Who dares to be so disrespectful to us?" After all, the 3 of them were ghost kings, and each of them had the strength of a half-saint. The moment his consciousness scanned them, the 3 ghost kings questioned him. Ugh! Looking at them with his divine sense, Linley took a step forward and asked the 3 ghost kings, "Hello, my name is Linley. Today, I came to the sacred mountain to disturb the ghost king's secluded cultivation. I hope you can forgive me. However, I really do have a request." At this moment, the 3 ghost kings stared at this middle-stage god-emperor cultivator. Seeing how he did not show any signs of fear, they immediately became interested in this person in front of them. "Say it. What do you want?" You're so easy to talk to." Hearing the 3 ghost kings' question, Lin Ray directly told them the purpose of his visit. "It's like this. This deity's wife and child were killed in the immortal world. But I heard that people who die in the immortal world will directly come to the ghost world of the god world and become ghost cultivators. So, I'm here today to borrow the reincarnation mirror to take a look. I wonder if you want the reincarnation mirror? Unless we're dead, don't even think about it." Before they finished speaking, the 3 ghost kings heard Lin Ray say that he was here for the reincarnation mirror in their hands. The 3 ghost kings, who were originally full of curiosity, immediately became gloomy. They looked at Lin Ray and the others cautiously. Why? Hearing the 3 ghost kings reject him so decisively, Lin Ray looked at them suspiciously. Why? Don't you know that the reincarnation mirror is a divine item in the ghost world? Opening it requires a huge price. And we don't know you. How can we give you such a sacred item? Looking at the determination in their eyes, Lin Ray knew that it was impossible to borrow the reincarnation mirror openly. The only way left was to do something that Lin Ray didn't like. Then, a voice transmission exploded in Xie Feng's mind. Let's fight. Fight until they hand over the reincarnation mirror. Of course, if they don't, just kill them. Xie Feng, who had been waiting for this moment for a long time, lifted her head and roared the moment she heard Lin Ray's words. Oh, woo. Oh, at this moment, the aura of the sage realm was completely released. Of course, Xie Feng didn't release all of her strength because Xie Feng felt that this little bit of strength was enough to suppress them. What? How is this possible? Sage. Sage realm? No. No. It shouldn't be just a sage. I can feel that her spiritual energy was released through suppression. What? How? How? Who is this guy? Why does he have such a powerful existence by his side? At this moment, after the three Ghost Kings felt the cultivation released by Xie Feng, their eyes were filled with shock and fear. Their bodies couldn't help but tremble violently after sensing the aura of sage. At this moment, they finally knew why a cultivator with a middle stage god emperor dared to come here. How about it? Do you want me to do it? Or do you want to take out the reincarnation mirror yourselves? Of course, I don't want you to take out the reincarnation mirror, because I can kill you directly if you do. You. After hearing Xie Feng's words, the three Ghost Kings, who were standing not far away, were full of anger, but there was a hint of helplessness in their eyes. Since that's the case, don't blame me. When the evil phoenix saw how hesitant the three people were, it didn't wait any longer. It spread its wings and flew into the sky. The instant it was in the air, it spread its wings, and two fireballs shot out of its wings. It shot towards the three Ghost Kings with lightning speed. Xie Feng's attack was so sudden that the three Ghost Kings reacted the moment they felt a wave of heat coming towards them. Lin Ray, who had been observing with his divine sense, sighed in his heart. Facing such an attack, not to mention responding, it was already very lucky to not die under it. The moment the three Ghost Kings felt Xie Feng's attack, they stood side by side and operated their cultivation techniques at the same time. The cultivation of a half-sage was completely released at this moment. Under the urgent situation, the three of them hurriedly condensed a giant palm together to block in front of them. It could only be said that the timing was just right. The moment the giant palm appeared, Xie Feng's two fireballs arrived. Pung, a loud sound was heard. Kacha! 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 After a loud sound, it was accompanied by the sound of something breaking. The sound of breaking became louder and louder, and the two fireballs were still confronting the giant palm. Ow, is this possible? At this moment, hearing the sound of breaking, the three Ghost Kings hurriedly looked at the giant palm they had condensed. They saw that the giant palm was full of cracks, and it looked like it was going to break at any time. Seeing that their attack couldn't even resist one move of the opponent, the three Ghost Kings were deeply shocked. Their eyes were full of shock and fear, but they didn't give up. Although they weren't a match for the opponent, they didn't give up transmitting energy to the giant palm to maintain its power. Aha! How dare the light of a grain of rice compete with the brilliance of the moon? Break for me! At this moment, Xie Feng, who was flying in the air, looked at the three Ghost Kings. They knew that their strength wasn't enough, but they were still resisting and wasting time. Suddenly, Xie Feng became angry. Then two fireballs rushed out. The speed was so fast that the three Ghost Kings, who were still resisting the first move, couldn't dodge, let alone have the chance to escape. Pong! The moment the two fireballs collided with the giant palm, a kacha sound was heard. The giant palm didn't have the slightest resistance at this moment. It shattered directly and turned into traces of energy and disappeared in the air. Pong! 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 Three muffled sounds were heard. After the four fireballs shattered the giant palm, they directly hit the three Ghost Kings. The three Ghost Kings, who were inferior in strength, were directly sent flying by the fireballs. The three Ghost Kings, who were sent flying in the air, flew backward in a parabola in the air. Plop! Plop, plopped, puffed, puffed. The moment the three ghost kings landed on the ground, they spat out mouthfuls of blood at the same time. Their faces turned pale. At this moment, Lin, Ray, and 15, who were watching from afar, were stunned. This battle was too fast. The three ghost kings were defeated in just 2 moves. Chapter 597. F*CK. Strength is strength. You're really something. Looking at the three ghost kings who had lost their fighting strength, Lin Ray used his divine sense as his eyes and came to Xiefeng's side. He looked at the three ghost kings lying not far away with a smile on his face. Humph, humph. Seeing Lin Ray's smile, the three ghost kings snorted at him and turned their faces away. At this moment, they were very unwilling to see Lin Ray smile, as well as Lin Ray and the others. Looking at them, Lin Ray walked towards them step by step. When Xiefeng saw Lin Ray's actions, she was afraid that something would happen to him, and quickly followed him. Of course, 15 followed closely behind Lin Ray. Step by step, he came in front of the three ghost kings. Lin Ray said to them in a low voice, "I've said before that I'm just borrowing it to see where my wife and child are. I don't really want your things. Now, you don't have to borrow it. Just give it to me." At this moment, Lin Ray's attitude was very tough. It was completely different from his previous attitude. The three ghost kings regretted it. If they had known this would happen, they would have agreed. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world, so it was too late for regrets. Linley, who had reached out to take it, saw the hesitant looks on their faces. His originally gloomy face grew even gloomier. "It is your honor that I asked you for it. Do you really think that I don't have any other options?" Just then, a thought suddenly flashed through his mind. Immediately, Linley retrieved a soul-controlling pill from his spatial ring, as well as the 2 remaining talismans of life and death. If he didn't subdue these 3 ready-made fighters in front of him, wouldn't that be a waste? He was most afraid of wasting. Moreover, his motto had always been that it was shameful to waste. You, what are you doing? I'm telling you, don't mess around. Seeing the fear in their eyes, Lin Ray enjoyed it very much. The thought of having 3 quasi-sage cultivators made him very excited. "Don't worry. Since you don't want to take it out, I won't force you. I'll do it myself." After saying that, Lin Ray gestured to Xiefeng, who was next to him. After being with Lin Ray for a long time, Xiefeng understood what he meant. She immediately released her cultivation and fixed the 3 ghost kings on the ground, making them unable to move. Looking at Xiefeng's actions, Lin Ray smiled and nodded. Then he squatted down in front of the 3 ghost kings. "Tell me, why do you have to do this? How nice it was for you to give it to me. Now, you have to force me." Looking at them, Lin Ray didn't hesitate. He took out the mind-controlling pill and went to one of the ghost kings. He stretched out his hand and pried open the ghost king's chin. "What were you doing?" "I swoosh." Just as the ghost king's eyes were filled with terror and he was about to speak, a black shadow suddenly shot out from Linley's hand. With a gulp, a black shadow directly entered his throat and finally into his stomach. The pill melted in his mouth, and the moment it entered his stomach, the pill dissolved and the medicinal effect spread throughout his body. You gave me, what did you give me?" At this moment, Linley had already let go of the ghost king's chin. The moment he let go of him, a roar of doubt came out of his mouth. "It's nothing. It's just something that can make you obedient. Don't worry, it won't do you any harm." After speaking, Lin Ray retreated to one side and waited for the medicinal effect to spread. At this moment, he wasn't sure if this pill would work on a sage. Moreover, he had only used this pill on people with low cultivation. It was the first time he had used it on someone of such a high level. And 15, who had been standing beside him, knew what the pill was when he saw Lin Ray take it out. After all, he had helped him control people before. "Boy, what are you holding?" Hearing Xiefeng's words, Lin Ray turned to look at her in shock and whispered, "This is a type of pill that can control cultivators. It tastes very sweet. Do you want to eat it?" You damn you. CF Fong, who had a curious look on her face, instantly took a few steps back after hearing the effects of this pill. She was very frightened. Damn, why does this boy have all these strange things on him? He even has this kind of pill. Seeing the look on Evil Phoenix's face, Linley chuckled. Don't worry, I won't use it on you. In addition, I don't know if this pill will be able to control him or not, so I'll have to wait a while and see how he reacts. With that, Lin Ray quickly turned his head and released his divine sense to observe the situation of the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill. And out of curiosity, CF Fong also looked up. In her previous life, people used spells to control people. It was her first time seeing this kind of pill control, so she was very curious. Of course, other than curiosity, there was also a small thought. That was, if this pill worked well, she would ask for a few to use. Time passed slowly. Lin Ray, who had been using his divine sense to observe the Ghost King, frowned. So much time had passed, but the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill was still very clear at this moment. Lin Ray began to suspect that his pill had expired, or that he could not control such a powerful existence at all. Time passed again. Lin Ray and the others, who had been waiting, saw that it was useless and were about to give up. But at this moment, just as they were about to give up, the Ghost King who had swallowed the soul control pill started to have a confused look in his eyes. There's a chance. After noticing the Ghost King's abnormality at this moment, his heart immediately lit up with hope. He continued to observe. Although he was puzzled by the time that had passed, as long as he could control the Ghost King, he was relieved. The Ghost King's eyes became more and more confused until finally, he was completely lost. However, at the moment when he was lost, his eyes became clear at this moment. Seeing this, Lin Ray was certain that this Ghost King was already one of his people. What's going on? Is this a success or not? At this moment, CF Fong, who had been observing this all this time, asked anxiously when she saw Lin Ray smile. Sensing CF Feng's excitement, Lin Ray smiled at her and said, Yes, it's a success. You'll know when you let him go. Hearing this, a trace of hesitation flashed across CF Feng's eyes. It was not that she did not want to, but with Lin Ray here, she was afraid that if it didn't work, it would be disastrous. It's fine, let him go. Sensing that CF Fong had not moved, Lin Ray sensed CF Feng's worry. He gave her a reassuring smile and repeated what he had said before. Sigh, okay. Seeing that Lin Ray was so confident, CF Fong felt helpless. She had no choice but to follow Lin Ray's instructions and retract the cultivation that was suppressing the Ghost King. Whoosh! At this moment, the Ghost King lying on the ground felt his cultivation being suppressed disappear and instantly stood up from the ground. Sensing the Ghost King's actions, CF Fong did not say anything and immediately walked in front of Lin Ray to protect him in case anything happened. Seeing CF Feng's actions, Lin Ray felt a warmth in his heart. If this had happened when he first met her, Lin Ray believed that she would not have done this. With a plop, just as CF Fong was nervous and worried that Lin Ray would be in danger, the Ghost King, who had stood up, walked to Lin Ray's side and knelt down, kowtowing to Lin Ray. Ghostly, one of the three Ghost Kings, greet master. As soon as the scene appeared, the two Ghost Kings next to him froze in place. As for Evil Phoenix, who had been afraid that Linley would be in danger, she also froze in place. Seeing their stunned expressions, Lin Ray said to the kneeling Ghostly, Get up. Yes, master. Hearing Linley's order, Ghostly immediately stood up from the ground and went behind Linley. He stood there obediently, not moving at all. When he looked at Linley, his eyes were filled with respect. Seeing such an obedient Ghostly, CF Fong was shocked. At this moment, her desire for the soul-controlling pill was even stronger. Seeing that the first Ghost King had succeeded, Lin Ray did not think much and walked to the other two Ghost Kings. You, what do you want? Yes, the reincarnation mirror. I'll give you the reincarnation mirror. I'll give you everything. As long as you don't make me become like him. I beg you. At this moment, the two ghost kings were scared out of their wits. They did not expect this middle god emperor brat to have such a terrifying item. At this moment, they deeply experienced the feeling of regret. Seeing them begging for mercy, Lin Ray ignored them and took out a life and death talisman. In an instant, Lin Ray quickly formed hand seals. His hand speed became faster and faster. At this moment, Xie Feng was even more shocked. At the beginning, she could still keep up with Lin Ray's speed, but as Lin Ray's hand speed became faster and faster, even she, who was in the Saint realm, could not see clearly. Life and death talisman. Life and death, I decide. In an instant, Lin Ray's hand touched the forehead of one of the ghost kings. Immediately, an indistinct array flashed. Life and death talisman, complete. Seeing that the life and death talisman was successfully implanted, Lin Ray took a few deep breaths and then stared nervously at the ghost king. He nodded to Xie Feng. Understanding the meaning, Xie Feng immediately withdrew the suppressive force from the ghost king. After what happened just now, she was relieved. With a Pu Tong, the suppressive force disappeared. Like the previous ghost king, the ghost king knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Ray. I, one of the three ghost kings, Gui Han, Greet Master. Just as Lin Ray finished talking to the system and heard Xie Feng's call, Lin Ray quickly withdrew from his consciousness and returned to reality. Kid, are you okay? Kid. After returning to reality, Lin Ray heard Xie Feng's call. Then, Lin Ray responded, "What's wrong? Why are you looking for me?" Lin Ray didn't understand Xie Feng's words. He didn't know what Xie Feng wanted at this moment. You scare me to death. Xie Feng, who had been calling for Lin Ray, heard Lin Ray's reply and revealed a relaxed smile. What's wrong? Why are you looking for me? Looking at Xie Feng, Lin Ray asked gently. Do you still have the soul domination pill? I want. Lin Ray released his divine sense and felt a little better. Xie Feng's cheeky appearance at this moment stunned him for a moment. He thought about how he used the soul domination pill to control people just now. Suddenly, Lin Ray knew what Xie Feng was thinking. Oh, it's not impossible for you to want the soul domination pill, but what good things do you have to give me? Lin Ray's words stunned Xie Feng for a moment. She didn't expect Lin Ray's words at this time. However, since Lin Ray said so, she wouldn't be stingy. After all, the two of them had a transactional relationship. After coming back to her senses, Xie Feng began to ponder in her mind. What should she give him? Just as Xie Feng was searching her memory, the name of a cultivation technique suddenly appeared at this moment. Tisk, looking at that cultivation technique, Xie Feng hesitated. Sigh, should I use this cultivation technique to exchange for it? Phoenix Dance of the Nine Heavens. After pondering for a while, Xie Feng thought about the effects of the soul domination pill. Then, her eyes became determined. She stopped thinking about it and looked at Lin Ray. Then, she said to him, Kid, consider yourself lucky. As she said that, a red beam of light rushed out from Xie Feng's mouth. Then, it rushed towards Lin Ray's forehead. When Lin Ray felt a wave of energy rushing towards him, Lin Ray instinctively wanted to block it. Don't move, this is for you. Suddenly, just as he was about to block it, Xie Feng's voice sounded at this moment. Okay, Lin Ray could still trust Xie Feng. Then, he gave up on blocking it and allowed the energy to rush into his heart. Boom! The moment the energy entered his forehead, it exploded. A wave of memories that didn't belong to him appeared. This is the origin cultivation technique of the Phoenix tribe, Nine Heavens Dance of the Phoenix. Its power shouldn't be underestimated. You have an extraordinary flame. I believe that your cultivation will definitely be smooth sailing. While Lin Ray was searching for memories that didn't belong to him, Xie Feng's voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Lin Ray was shocked. The origin cultivation technique of the Phoenix tribe. Just this point alone was worth it to exchange for his soul domination pill. Great. Seeing that she took out such a powerful item, Lin Ray was not inferior to her. Linley naturally wasn't that far off. Furthermore, even if she didn't give him anything, Linley was planning to give her the soul-controlling pill. Here, there are 500 soul domination pills. You have seen its function. I believe you know it. As he spoke, a storage ring was directly placed in front of Xiefeng. Compared to 500 soul domination pills, Lin Ray valued the 9 heavens dance of the Phoenix more. At this moment, after hearing Lin Ray's words, Xiefeng suddenly sucked in a breath of cold air. Her face was filled with shock. 500. Looking at the storage ring with 500 soul domination pills in front of her, Xiefeng opened her mouth excitedly. With a gentle suck, the storage ring was directly sucked into her mouth. Kid, you're not bad. After I've helped you complete your 3 wishes, I'll be leaving. As for my son, you can keep him. Although his strength isn't enough now, and he still needs you to nurture him, when he grows up, he will definitely be a great assistant to you. Okay. After hearing Xiefeng's words, Lin Ray nodded and fell silent. Regarding Xiefeng's departure, Lin Ray actually didn't agree. After all, she was alone. He didn't want to see Xiefeng throw an egg against a rock and die for nothing. After all, it was no longer the Desolation era, and she had been imprisoned for so many years. At this moment, she didn't even know how the heavenly court had developed. If she acted rashly, the end result would be obvious. Can I not go? This sudden sentence stunned Xiefeng on the spot. She looked at Lin Ray with a strange gaze. I know you want to enter the Saint's world and take revenge on the Celestial Emperor, but have you thought about how strong the heavenly court is now? Do you know how strong the Celestial Emperor is? Also, there are Dao ancestors above the Celestial Emperor. Do you think you're stronger than a Dao ancestor? She was a little surprised by Lin Ray's words. However, the determination in Xiefeng's eyes didn't change. Looking at Linley, Demonic Phoenix laughed. I know you're worried. Although I don't know how strong they are, I will definitely kill them. So, there's no need for you to try and persuade me otherwise. Seeing how determined Xiefeng was, Lin Ray didn't say anything. Everyone had their own fate. Since this was her own decision, it wasn't appropriate for him to say anything. All right, since you want to go, don't be rash when you reach the holy world. Cultivate your own force first. Once your force is established and you feel that you can resist the heavenly court, then you can act. Or, wait for me. When I reach the holy world, we will discuss it again. Lin Ray, who was talking, suddenly heard Xiefeng's voice. Immediately, Lin Ray released his divine sense and looked at her. All right. You are really long-winded. If I didn't know you, I would really think that you were a very kind and silly boy who worries about others all the time. Hearing this, Lin Ray fell silent and didn't say anything. Since she had said this, there was no point in saying anything more. The scene fell silent. The 3 Ghost Kings stood behind him. After Lin Ray and Xiefeng finished their conversation, he sat on the ground and began to study the Phoenix dances in the 9th heaven in his mind. Seeing Lin Ray cultivate, Xiefeng and 15 also began to cultivate. Time passed slowly. Lin Ray, who didn't receive the system notification, continued to cultivate. After an unknown period of time, Lin Ray began to wake up when he didn't have any progress in his cultivation. Why haven't I made any progress after cultivating for such a long time? Thinking that he hadn't made any progress after cultivating for so many years, suddenly, Lin Ray panicked and his eyes were filled with doubt. In the past, as long as he cultivated, there would be signs of his cultivation increasing. Although it was very slow, it was still in a state of growth. But now, after cultivating for such a long time, there was no growth at all. Kid, come to the system when you wake up. Just when Lin Ray was frustrated that his cultivation wasn't increasing, the system's voice sounded. All right, wait for me. He didn't know how long he had waited for this voice. Now that it appeared, how could he not be excited? Then, ignoring the people around him, he entered the system with a thought. Chapter 599. You're here. Yes. Lin Ray couldn't calm down after hearing the system's words. He wanted to know about the reincarnation mirror. How is it, reincarnation mirror? Huh. The system chuckled and said, as expected, I've analyzed the reincarnation mirror. It's very simple to activate it. As long as you have the spiritual energy to activate it, it will operate on its own. It's that simple? It's that simple. Looking at the stunned Lin Ray, the system said in a normal tone. All right, give it to me. After knowing how to activate the reincarnation mirror, Lin Ray didn't want to wait any longer. After waiting for so many years, he couldn't wait any longer. Of course, I'll give it to you. However, the reincarnation mirror is too powerful. So, after it's activated, as long as you ask what you want to ask, give it to me immediately. At this point, the system sounded very nervous. Without waiting for Lin Ray's response, the system continued. Now that the 3 Ghost Kings have been subdued by you, if this reincarnation mirror is placed in the sacred mountain, I'm afraid that those with ulterior motives will come and snatch it. When that happens, it will be out of control. So, why not leave it with me? Listening to the system's righteous words, in the end, it still wanted the reincarnation mirror. In this regard, Lin Ray didn't decline. After all, he didn't need it. As long as he found his wife and children, the reincarnation mirror would be useless to him. All right, do whatever you want. This thing is useless to me. I just want to use it to find my wife and children. As for the rest, you can do as you deem fit. Hearing this, the system responded with an okay. A moment ago, there was nothing in front of him, but in the next moment, the reincarnation mirror appeared and floated in the air. Go! Without responding to the system, Lin Ray directly exited the space and returned to the peak of the sacred mountain. After returning to reality, Lin Ray saw that the people around him hadn't woken up yet. Then, Lin Ray's body flashed, and he arrived at a deserted place not far away. Phew! He let out a long sigh and tensed up. Wait for your husband. Your husband will come and save you now. With that, Lin Ray spread out his hand, and the reincarnation mirror instantly appeared and was placed in the air. Reincarnation mirror. Oh, reincarnation mirror. I hope you don't disappoint me. Otherwise, I'll definitely destroy you. At this moment, Linley was both nervous and afraid. He was nervous because he was about to see his wife and child. He was afraid because he was afraid that everything he had done would be for naught in the end and turn into nothingness. Moreover, he himself did not believe in this kind of thing. If it were not for the little dragon's certainty at that time, he would not have done this, let alone come to the world of spirits and souls. Wang, perhaps it sensed Linley's desire to destroy it, but at this moment, the mirror of samsara began to tremble violently. Lin Ray did not have a chance to react to the reincarnation mirror's reaction. In an instant, Lin Ray took out all the spiritual stones in his storage ring. No matter if it was lower, middle, upper, or top grade, they were all moved by Lin Ray to the bottom of the reincarnation mirror. Hoo-hoo! At this moment, the spiritual stones that Lin Ray took out were like towering mountains. However, the difference was that the spiritual stone mountain range was colorful and stood erect under the reincarnation mirror beautifully. If people from the world of gods or immortals saw this spiritual stone mountain range, they would definitely be shocked. One had to know that this spiritual stone mountain range alone was more than all the sects in the immortal world combined. It was the same even in the world of gods. Some of these spiritual stones were plundered by him when he slaughtered the Chinquin sect and the empire. However, most of them were obtained by his younger brother when he was the head of a trading company in the immortal world. Although Lin Ray was more or less heartbroken to take out all the spiritual stones, in order to save his wife and child, he would not hesitate to take out all the resources he had. The moment the spiritual stone mountain range appeared, the surrounding ghostly aura and cold aura were all blocked out by the spiritual energy. The rich spiritual energy filled the entire peak of the sacred mountain. The 3 Ghost Kings, 15, and Xiefeng, who were in the midst of cultivation, all stopped cultivating the moment they felt the immense spiritual energy. They stood up immediately. With doubts and deep feelings, they searched for the source of the spiritual energy. Kid, young master, master. When everyone came close to the source of the spiritual energy, Lin Ray's figure appeared in front of everyone. Haha, you guys are here. Sensing the aura of the people behind him, Linley didn't turn his head. He smiled at them and said, "Since you're here, protect me. Remember, at this time, you must be careful. Don't disturb the opening of the reincarnation mirror." Yes, yes, don't worry. Swish, swish, swish. Upon hearing Lin Ray's instructions, everyone gathered around the reincarnation mirror. They looked solemn and released their cultivation to protect it. Looking at everyone, Lin Ray was grateful. Then, he turned serious and formed seals with both hands. Wong, at this moment, the reincarnation mirror that was activated by Lin Ray started to devour the spiritual stone mountain range below, like a bottomless pit. Although the people around him were protecting him, they could still sense what was going on at the moment. When they felt the devouring ability of the reincarnation mirror, everyone was shocked. I hope it will be as I wish. Ling, or you must wait for me. At this moment, looking at the reincarnation mirror, Lin Ray could not help but pray. He hoped for success this time. Eowu, Emin. The sudden roar of a beast made Lin Ray frown. He did not expect that a demonic beast would come at this critical juncture. Good GG. Nevertheless, what Lin Ray did not expect was that it wasn't just the roar of a beast. Following the roar, there were also many gloomy and ghostly cries. Feeling this, Lin Ray and the others became nervous and alert. This reverend is waiting here for his wife and children to revive. If you don't wish to die, then come at me. This reverend guarantees that you won't be able to return. Towards this, Lin Ray roared with the cultivation of a middle-stage god-emperor. With the peak of the sacred mountain as the base, it spread out in all directions. He believed that all living beings within a radius of 500,000 kilometers could hear his voice. Thus, unless those who did not care about their lives came to make trouble, everyone in the ghost world would stop. Of course, the heavens did not fulfill one's wish. Some people generally liked to do the opposite. They chose to ignore Lin Ray's words. At this moment, 300,000 kilometers away from the sacred mountain, a middle-aged man wearing a blood-red robe with red eyes and white skin was full of killing intent. If other people in the ghost world were here, they would know that this person was one of the few ghost kings in the ghost world other than the three great ghost kings, Huawu. Huawu was one of the strongest existences in the ghost world other than the three great ghost kings. Lin Ray did not know that the moment he opened the reincarnation mirror, the entire ghost world shook because of it. After all, the reincarnation mirror was left behind by Ho-Tu, one of the 12 ancestral shamans in the Great Desolate Era when he created the ghost world. After so many years of subtle influence, the reincarnation mirror had long become one with the ghost world. Thus, the moment the reincarnation mirror was opened, the entire ghost world shook because of it. Of course, part of the forces in the ghost world rebelled because of the spiritual energy emitted from the peak of the sacred mountain, which was caused by the spiritual stone mountain. At this moment, Huawu looked in the direction of the sacred mountain. He could not help but sneer. After waiting for so many years, it's finally here. Ghostly, you have been in that position for too long. It's time for a change. With that, Huawu turned into a black gas and rushed towards the sacred mountain. His speed was so fast that he reached 10,000 meters in an instant. At this moment, the demonic beast from the foot of the sacred mountain had been killed by Lin Ray and the others. Thus, those demonic beasts and the ghost soldiers of the ghost world were crazily rushing towards the peak of the sacred mountain as fast as they could. Young master, what should we do? At this moment, everyone on the peak of the sacred mountain felt all the strange movements around them. 15 hurriedly turned around and asked Lin Ray for advice with a serious expression. Lin Ray heard 15's words. At the same time, he also felt the commotion around them. What should we do? I've said before that I'll kill anyone who stands in my way. No matter who it is, As long as they dare to stop me from saving my wife and children, they should all be killed. Hearing this, 15 nodded and said to Evil Phoenix, "Let's go." The young master said that no matter who it is, if anyone dares to come forward, we will kill them. Got it. Hearing Lin Rei's words from 15, Xief Feng nodded. The murderous intent in her eyes shot out instantly. She spread her wings and flew down the mountain. Ha! Seeing Xief Feng's actions, 15 did not hesitate and released his cultivation to follow her. As for the 3 Ghost Kings, they followed Xief Feng down the mountain. At this moment, only Lin Rei and the mirror of reincarnation that was absorbing spirit energy were left on the mountain. Sigh. I've told you before that it's very dangerous to activate the mirror of reincarnation. This mirror of reincarnation belongs to the world of spirits and souls. Are you doing this? At this moment, Lin Rei, who was filled with murderous intent, said. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei interrupted it rudely. All right, I know. However, I want to find my wife and children. If there's anyone who stands in my way, I'll kill them. Anyone who stands in my way, I'll kill them. Sigh. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, which were filled with murderous intent, the system sighed and retreated. Sensing that the system had retreated, Lin Rei did not make a sound. Then, he waited quietly in front of the mirror of reincarnation. His divine sense blocked every move of the mirror of reincarnation. Linger, wait for me. I'll know where you are soon. Wait for me. At this moment, the mountaintop was silent. At this moment, the largest battle in the history of the world of spirits and souls had completely broken out on the mountainside. At this moment, it was not just the demonic beasts. Even the ghost soldiers of the world of spirits and souls seemed to be charging towards the mountaintop. Their eyes were red as if something had affected their minds. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.